Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Slice of Gaming podcast for December 7th, 2024. I'm your host, the Uncharted Wolf, and I am joined today by what was going to be a duo cast, and then we got a friend come in at the last second. Jack, how are you doing today?
I'm all right, thank you.
That's awesome to hear. And Bob is joining me today as well. How you doing, Bob?
You know, maybe the duo cast is the friends you make along the way.
It is funny that we were talking about it. It's like I think the only people I haven't done a duo cast with are you two. So
it's all right, I'll leave. I'll let you and Jack spend some quality time together.
No, it's fine. I listen, man. Sometimes I enjoy the duo cast, but there are days where it's like I know a story doesn't apply to the person I'm with, so I'm like, okay.
Like last week,
dude. I was trying, man.
that one was tough because I'm like, oh man, the handheld. Like I'm chomping at the bit, but I was at.
I get it. It was that thing of like I gotta be the one to step in, and then I got CD Project Red news. It's like I don't know shit about these guys.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, if you guys want to check us out, we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all your favorite podcast services. Like the podcast, any type of support helps, and you can follow us on Twitter at A Slice of Gaming. But before we get into the actual news, last week was Thanksgiving. Now, Jack, I know you're in the UK, so you do not celebrate Thanksgiving. Do you guys do anything in that week, or is it just a normal Thursday?
It's just a normal Thursday. There's Black Friday, obviously, the day after, which the UK is slowly adopting. But Thanksgiving itself, none of us even realised.
It might be, I don't actually know for sure. Is Boxing Day also in the UK, or is it just Canada?
Yeah, Boxing Day is in the UK.
Oh, okay, cool. And that's like early November or late October? I forget.
Isn't that like December 26th?
Yeah, that's the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. So you guys basically get Christmas and then immediately like a Thanksgiving, huh? But I don't know.
Boxing Day is more of like it's just post Christmas Day. It's the
okay, gotcha.
The day where you eat leftovers and deals start flying around. So.
Oh, that sounds awesome. But Bob, you celebrated Thanksgiving. You do anything special?
Yeah, I try and go home because I live like 2,000 miles away from my family, so I try and go home at least for Thanksgiving or Christmas. So this year was Thanksgiving and had a nice dinner, and I got to hang out with the fam and just be by the beach again, which is nice. So
that sounds awesome. I mean, I always love visiting family, especially because I live with them still.
Moon is right. Last week, mashed potatoes and gravy, best side, best Thanksgiving side.
I mean, they're definitely top three, but like a broccoli cheese casserole and a mac and cheese, man, they just hit different.
Mac and cheese also very good. I don't know, stuffing isn't really a side.
It's part of the turkey.
It's like it's kind of like an accessory, kind of like cranberry sauce.
But it's weird. I don't think I've ever had like stuffing.
Really? Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's just like my sister always says she's gonna cook it, and then she never does. So I don't know.
Last year, I didn't go home for Thanksgiving, right? Because I flip-flop, and it was my first Thanksgiving away from home, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do as, like, a single man who lives on his own. I was like, well, I don't really want to make anything, but I feel like I got to do something. And there's a sub shop near me that does, like, an oven-roasted shredded turkey sandwich with cranberry and stuffing, and then you get like a side of mashed potatoes and gravy. So I would like dip the sandwich in the mashed potatoes and gravy and then take a bite, and it was like Thanksgiving in a bite. It's unbelievable. Honestly, I was kind of like, hey, I don't think I need to go home for Thanksgiving. I'll just go home for Christmas because this is so good.
No, that sounds awesome. Holy shit. Is it like a local place?
I think they're a chain called Capriotti's. I think it's kind of Italian.
I don't think we got anything like that there. Do you guys have Firehouse subs, or is that more of a Texas thing?
I know there are firehouses in Florida, so that might be a southern thing. I don't know. No, there are firehouses here. They're just not as popular.
Yeah, no, they're definitely much bigger out here. Enough talk about food though. We talked enough about it. Black Friday. You guys get anything big pickups wise?
I am unfortunately broke from. Well, okay, actually, I take that back. Yes, but not in gaming. I ended up upgrading like my whole snowboarding setup. So like I got a new snowboard, a new jacket, some new
yes.
goggles. So like nothing gaming related. Took a year off from that.
Fair enough. Jack, you said the UK is slowly adopting Black Friday. You get anything interesting?
On Black Friday itself, not so much, but all the early Black Friday deals just lasted throughout the whole month, and I got quite a lot personally.
Yeah, it feels like Black Friday, the day just doesn't really exist anymore. It's way more of a like monthly thing. Any standouts that you were like really excited about?
Um, I got like some decent ones, like Unknown Nine Awakening. I was interested in that when it released.
Oh yeah.
I got that for like 20 quid. What else did I get? Super Mario RPG, Grand Blue Fantasy
Nice.
Relink, Suicide Squad, of course, because who
Of
wouldn't?
course. It's $5. So you might as well.
Oh, Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 was a cool one.
Oh,
'Cause
nice.
obviously now it's
Grand
finally
Blue-
got the physical.
Dude, Grand Blue's one I really wish I picked up. I wonder if there's still sales going on for it. Bob, you had something?
It's-
Oh, sorry, Jack. Go ahead. I'm sorry, there's a lot going on. Jack, say again.
I was just gonna say on Grand Blue. I think there's some weird stock issue in the UK because it never goes down as cheap as it does in like America. Because I know
Mm-hmm.
a friend in another Discord got the collector's edition for really cheap, but over here I mean, just on Amazon it was like £90 for ages, so it was like it gone up instead of down. So I did manage to get it Black Friday, but not that cheap. Just a price that I was willing to buy.
That's good. At least you were able to pick it up. That's weird that it would just go up in price. But I mean, hey, better to grab it now than like when it's way more expensive later.
My thoughts exactly.
Bob, were you gonna say something there?
Yeah, I totally forgot. I did actually pick up one game. I was initially gonna pick it up for cheaper, but the key service wasn't working, so I was like, screw it. It's still on sale on Steam. I finally picked up Helldivers 2.
Oh, nice.
So I will be talking about that a little bit later. But yeah, figured, you know what? I keep hearing obviously Game of the Year discussions about it, and it is one I said I'd get to at some point. So yeah,
I'm
I'll talk
surprised you
about that a little
haven't.
bit more later.
Seems like something you'd be into with the boys.
I think it was a timing thing.
Oh yeah, because it was the same month as Rebirth and shit.
Yeah, and I was just like, I know I'm not going to play this right now, and I was also traveling a lot during that time, so then it was just you know, the moment of like, okay, when am I going to be able to like dedicate some time to this? And same with my friend group, like, because I've already played some of them alone, and it's like, yeah, you could do it alone, but this is a group game for sure.
For sure, yeah. Anyways, let's move into the actual news. We're actually going to do some Game Awards, like what's going to be announced at the show itself, predictions later, which I'm really excited about. And of course, we have a decent amount of news this week. You know, nothing crazy, but just small things here and there. First thing up, we got some sad news, depending on if you were a big fan of this game. X Defiant will be shutting down in June 2025. Where 64 has this. According to Insider Gaming, Ubisoft's X Defiant will be shutting down in June 2025. A wave of layoffs expected in February, along with the closure of Ubisoft San Francisco. Some staff are already receiving severance information. And then Steven Totillo also had some extra information here. Ubisoft SF and Osaka closed, Sydney team ramping down. Up to 177 people to be laid off. Half of X Defiant team moving to other projects. Ubisoft had hoped game would compete with Call of Duty, but recently was denying shutdown rumors amid declining playing numbers. Oh, actually, a correction that Steven immediately throws in. Cuts expect to be closer to 277, not 177. So even more. If you thought like, oh, 177, that's not that bad. No, actually, it's 277. But yeah, yet another multiplayer live service that's being shut down. The news of its shutdown in the same calendar year that it released, if you remember, it came out in May. Were either of you into this game?
No, this isn't my kind of game.
Fair enough.
You know what? I was, and I'm actually one achievement away from getting the completion. So this like activates that, you know, terrible like itch in my system.
The
where it's like,
Concord Platinum.
Yeah, right, exactly. I'm like, that's right there, because I think I just have to get to level 50, and I'm like level 42. I honestly am a bit bummed by this news, because like, yeah, it's not Call of Duty. We all recognize that, and Black Ops 6 is a better game than X Defiant. But like, It does suck that it feels like there's no space for very similar kinds of games. Like Call of Duty is such a black hole for like the military FPS shooter that nothing else can really like I know but Siege is doing something a little bit differently. Like you kind of have to do something a little bit differently if you're just like kind of that base Call of Duty FPS military shooter. It just feels like there's no room to survive.
No, 100%. I mean, this is like a case of like it feels like this year especially we're just seeing more and more of these live service games shut down even faster than before, because usually it's like they would try to go for a year, but like Concord got shut down in like 2 weeks. Foam Stars, I didn't add it, but Foam Stars is going to be getting a big shutdown, or not shutdown, they're just going to stop releasing content by like next month, I think. And literally like not even a year since it's released, they're going to be like, oh, we're done with it, we're going to stop trying to support it. It just feels like more and more like if these numbers, I mean, this is a perfect example. If you guys remember when For Honor released,
Yeah.
nobody fucking liked it. It was not like it had so many issues. But you know what Ubisoft did? They were like, we're gonna stick with it. We're gonna actually like try to make it a game worth playing. And it eventually became a game worth playing, and people were into it. The same thing happened with Rainbow Six Siege, and I might be wrong. I think Ghost Recon Wildlands was also the same thing. I might be wrong about that. I think that one was actually good at launch. The Division One, though, I know that's another one. That's like eventually these games became things that people were worth playing, and obviously, there's the criticism of like should have been ready at launch, which yes, 100% I agree with. But the thing is, it's like at least eventually you can make it good, and I think X Defiant could have had a road towards that, but it just feels like in this current games industry, you don't have that leeway. It's like if it needs to launch well, it needs to stay consistent, and then you can continue updating it to make it like do better and better, but you don't get this like, oh well, it did bad for a while and then it's going to start coming back up. It's like, no, you don't get that leeway anymore. It's either a success or it's a failure. And that's just kind of a terrifying aspect of this industry, that unless you're making these massive Call of Duty numbers, people are just going to go back to their black hole games, these Fortnites, these Call of Duties, these Rainbow Six Sieges.
That's why I find this oh, go on.
No, you're good.
I was going to say, that's why I find this particularly interesting for Ubisoft. They always support the games for way longer than anyone expects, and the games just live on forever. I mean, Riders Republic was still getting content forever after launch, and I feel like
it still is. That was going to be part of what I was going to say. Yeah. Keep going.
Perfect. Yeah, this definitely feels like they're just taking the loss, shutting it down, shutting the studios, thinning themselves out a little bit for probably what we're going to talk about in a bit, but it's just on Ubisoft.
Yeah, so this is a very weird move, even for Ubisoft, because it feels like to me that this was always hey, we have something here. These teams, we need to justify these teams somehow. And, when this released in May 2024, like, let's face it, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was not received too well. Cold War was kind of like some people like it, it was middling, people liked it, but it wasn't like a success. And so I think they had like an opportunity window where it's like, okay, if we come in and make a good game, people are kind of looking for something right now, maybe we can make this work. And then Black Ops 6 comes out and it's like, oh no, they made another good Call of Duty. Because it is weird. Like you said, X Defiant came out on May 21st, 2024. You look at like Ubisoft's current portfolio of live service games that are being updated. Crew Motorfest was mentioned. That was September 2023. Riders Republic, October 2021. Like, that's a game I picked up, was it this year or last year, in a Steam sale? And like, it still had a pretty solid player count. They were still updating the game, even though no one really talks about it anymore. But I think the biggest one to be like, this doesn't seem Ubisoft, is Skull and Bones. Like, that game also came out this year, and they are still full steam ahead with their seasonal content. And there's no signs of them shutting down, even though it got lambasted at launch. So it's kind of interesting. I feel like, I hope, this is just an XDefiant thing, and trying to squeeze something in between COD releases. Granted, not exactly a great strategy for a live service game to be like, yeah, we're just going to test this out for a year and see if it works. But it doesn't, based on Ubisoft's other like live service games, it doesn't feel like, this does feel like an outlier even for Ubisoft.
Dude, Bob, I completely forgot Skull and Bones came out this
That's
year.
what
What
I'm
the
saying.
fuck?
Like, if any
And
game
it's
should be
still
shut
getting
down,
updated.
it's Skull and Bones. And they're still getting a lot of content.
Skull and Bones is actually going to outlast X Defiant. X Defiant had bigger player numbers at launch, right?
Oh,
Like,
100%, yeah.
so
I'm
what
curious what the player numbers are right now. Is there any way of checking that? Steam.
Steam.
Oh,
Steam,
is Skull and Bones on
yeah.
Steam?
Yes,
I think
Skull and
so.
Bones is on Steam, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go check that.
That is a big thing. X Defiant was not at Steam at launch.
Right.
200.
Yeah, and that's also been a Ubisoft thing, right? Is just not being on Steam.
Skull and Bones has 277 players right now.
Shout out to those guys, dude.
It had all-time peak was 4 months ago at 2,615.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way X Defiant had less than 2,000 like peak. I don't think X Defiant is on Steam actually, which also probably like
Very
hurt
stupid.
them.
I feel like you have to be on Steam nowadays if you want to be anywhere near a success. God, that is so wild.
Well, and it's
2,000
tough
players.
too because the consoles don't report their numbers. We can only
Yeah.
see like player chart wise, because like, let's face it, I think
Yeah.
even for Call of Duty, most of your players are on console.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
we just don't have a good representation of what those numbers would be.
Yeah, because we can always see it's like, oh, this game has like 500,000, which we're going to talk about with Marvel Rivals later. 500,000 on Steam. It's maybe like times 3, times 4 that on consoles.
Exactly.
Concurrence, which just goes to show how well a game is doing. It's just one of those things you really have to like finagle around. I wish they gave concurrence.
So X Defiant. So apparently, in an earnings call, Yves Guillemot mentioned, but by June it had accumulated 11 million players. Now, obviously, I doubt many of those stuck around for very long.
No, of
But
course not.
Skull and Bones is nowhere near 11 million players. We can probably agree on that.
Hey, maybe it was the biggest Xbox title of all time, and like all 11 of those millions. There are millions of Skull and Bones players on Xbox right now. We don't know about. Who knows? Would that, Bob? Do Xbox players like Skull and Bones?
Well, I know Best Buy, I think, had like a $10 sale sometime this summer or fall for the console discs for Skull and Bones. So I genuinely think they like upped their player count a significant amount during that sale, which is just insane. But I really don't know anyone who's played it, and I've thought about it because I love a good pirate game, but I'm like, nah.
Listen, and I want a good pirate game, but not like this. I've been wanting a good pirate game, but my options are Sea of Thieves and whatever the One Piece games are. So I'm like, it's a rough time for us pirate fans. But also we got rough times for more Ubisoft news because Ubisoft reportedly discussing buyout options as talks of going private continue. This is Jim Norman at Nintendo Life. Back in October, it was rumored that Ubisoft was considering going private. Now there's a new report from, I never know how to pronounce it. Is it Reuters or
Reuters?
Reuters.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Reuters.
Which provides new information from two people familiar with the matter. According to the outlet's sources, Ubisoft shareholders are considering a potential buyout of the company, but one that still leaves the founding Guillemot family in control. However, the company's second largest stakeholder, Tencent, is one of the names mooted to participate in the buyout, with the Chinese tech giant reportedly keen to have a greater say on future board discussions, including cash flow distribution in return for financing the deal. You mentioned this earlier, Jack. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. It is kind of insane that, like, even with all of the shit that Ubisoft has found themselves in with the Guillemot family, they're still like, well, we want to keep them in power. It's like, what? No. I feel like they've shown, like, Yves and his team just shown they're not very good at their jobs if Ubisoft is in the situation they are now. But yeah, Jack, I wanted to hear your thoughts on this specifically.
I mean, I'm very typically against anyone buying any company, but in this case, it is probably predictable to an extent. We kind of all assumed that Ubisoft was either going to sell or split apart and sell all the pieces.
Mhm.
So I kind of think this is a big part of them shutting down studios, and XDefiant just kind of obviously went with it. I didn't really mention it much in the last story, because you did mention the studios that have been shut down, but Ubisoft San Francisco has been one that's been around for, it feels like a long time. They've made the Rocksmith games, which I think are quietly pretty big. They obviously did the second South Park game that I'm pretty sure most people liked. Ubisoft Osaka, I'm not so familiar with it. I think they did
They're
the
just
Pets
support.
games on DS.
Yeah.
They did the
Oh.
Pets games, and they did a Gravity Rush game. I think not Gravity Rush, Gravity Falls game on the 3DS. That's all I really know them for.
I think now they're
But
basically a support studio, but yeah, you might be right there. Continue.
yeah, pretty much. So I do wonder if this is like a sign of what Ubisoft is going to do in order to get acquired, whether they're going to start shutting down all these studios across the world. Obviously, I hope not, but it does seem rather likely if they are going to get bought, because I don't think Tencent wants the amount of employees that Ubisoft currently has. I mean, can you remember the number? It's not coming to
Tencent?
my mind. Ubisoft, the
Oh,
amount of
Ubisoft.
employees.
20,000, which is
Yeah,
insanity.
I don't think
That is
Tencent wants
crazy.
all that.
I want
So,
to point out, like, EA has like 10K, and they make substantially more money than Ubisoft, which just goes to show the bloat at that company.
yeah, it's pretty insane. So, in terms of like, obviously, if Tencent is going to buy them, I don't know. But I almost feel like if they were going to do it, they would have done it a while ago, because they kept increasing their stake in Ubisoft. They have I think they have a stake in the Guillemot family or something weird like that. So
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
not
a
quite
weird,
sure
like,
how that works, but
because like
they
Ubisoft
own,
is like a family company in that way.
yeah, so they own shares in Ubisoft and the owners of Ubisoft. It's really bizarre, but I know that they
That
have
is
some weird split thing like that.
that is
Um,
dystopian.
so that is obviously why everyone's jumping on Tencent being the one who's going to buy them. It could actually be anyone, but
For sure. The
again,
thing.
yeah, it just
Oh, sorry, go on.
go on. I was just it. Obviously, Ubisoft is at its lowest value right now than it's probably ever been. I think, what is it? Its share price has dropped to like the lowest in 11 years. We mentioned on an episode a few weeks
Yeah, it was
back.
like a dollar or something.
So yeah, uh, it's probably going to happen whether it's Tencent or not. But
It was
I'm
$2.39.
yeah, I'm just a little intimidated by what's going to happen to
Yeah.
see all the.
Sorry, okay, I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry.
No, go. That was it.
Okay, cool. What's it called? I guess the case is that the thing is, I think Tencent is the one to buy them as well, because the thing is, no one wants to buy all of that, and clearly, what happens with an acquisition like of this scale, there's going to be a lot of studios getting shut down, very like scorched earth approach. And also, I just feel like Tencent's the only one willing because they already have a stake in it. And I don't think anyone else really wants Ubisoft because of how much bloat there is. That's just a difficult acquisition. So I'm kind of with you. I think Tencent's going to be the one to acquire them. And I feel like that acquisition is going to come out sooner rather than later. Probably a little bit after the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows, depending on how that game sells, especially. I have the Ubisoft Osaka game library here. Let me tell you guys, this is a crazy library. So you were right, Jack. They did a Gravity Falls game. In 2011 and 2013, they did games based on a famous animated movie from Sony Pictures. If you guys know these two.
Can't say I knew about those. I only knew
Blue
about the pet.
guys. Little blue gnome guys. Come on.
Oh, the Smurfs.
Wait, yeah.
They did the Smurfs video games. They also
Okay.
did. This is an insane library. NCIS 3D the game.
Oh,
on
hell yeah.
3DS, which is the most like 2011 video game I have ever seen in my life. And also, They worked on Rocksmith Plus, if you guys remember that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was Sanfran, I think, mostly, but
Yeah, but they
Osaka
came as a
co-developed.
support. Yeah.
Yeah, like Jack was saying, Rocksmith Plus is actually like very like people who want to learn how to play guitar
Oh yeah.
use Rocksmith Plus. Like it's actually very, very like it's got a big player base. It's just like not necessarily it's like people bragging about Flight Sim, right? It's like no one's really like people who are playing that just kind of play it and don't really talk about it because it's not really a video game.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
more
they.
like a subscription service nowadays. Like I was massively into
Oh yeah.
Rocksmith 2014 because it just happened that I was playing guitar at the same time. But Plus is weird. It is just a subscription that you sign up for, and you can sort of then you can buy the songs as well as pay for the subscription. It seems really odd. I don't know the exact way it works or what's going to happen to it now, but yeah, like you say, it is surprisingly huge.
Moving into our next story, Nintendo. We got some news from them, aka more rumors, because Nintendo, they ain't talking. According to what Nate the Hate heard, the Stealth 40K on Twitter, Nintendo is preparing a Switch 2 event for May 2025. Switch 2 will still be revealed before the end of March 2025, obviously. And also, Nate said, according to Nate the Hate, Kirby Planet Robobot is coming to Switch in 2025. Presumably, this would be an HD remaster. I actually watched the episode before this podcast, and it very much is Nate's kind of saying like, oh, it's going to most likely be revealed in January before the investor meeting, which is usually around like late January for Nintendo. So they want to try to do the Switch 2 reveal before the end of January. And also, him and MVG were very much like speculating hard and very much thinking it's going to be released during the summer for the Switch 2. So June, July, August. What do you guys think of that? Do you kind of believe that? Does that make sense to you? And also, I mean, for the love of God, can this thing get revealed already? Because I am losing it.
That's kind of my like initial takeaway is this has got to be the funniest like drip feed of all time. Like
This is the same with the NX, I'll tell you now.
no, but like even going
It was
back
brutal.
like 4 years to the first like Switch Pro rumors, and then it's like, okay, here are the Switch Pro rumors. Okay,
Oh my
well maybe
God.
now it's a Switch 2. Okay, here's a Switch 2. Oh, they're announcing it. Like we all thought like, oh, we're gonna get an announcement sometime last year, and it's gonna release like before the end of the fiscal year, like in
Mhm.
2025. And now it's like it's just so funny to see the goalposts slowly move farther and farther back. And it's
Every
like, oh
time, man.
my god. But yeah, as far as like the actual content, listen, I don't have like I have no pulse on any of this anymore. But like that kind of insinuation that they're gonna try and do it before the shareholders meeting, and they gave themselves the deadline of April 1st, that seems like it would check out. But at this point, I don't know what to believe. I mean, they could justify it for any reason on any day.
Yeah, it just seems like it literally like they could genuinely reveal it tomorrow and get the same view count. Like this thing, it really doesn't matter when it's revealed, which is why I'm so confused why they're holding out so fucking far for it. It's such an insane release timeline. What about you, Jack?
Apologies.
Oh, you're good.
I don't know when this is getting revealed. I'm just sort of hovering because like at this point I genuinely think there is a tiny possibility that this comes out in 2026, and that would just be hilarious.
Don't do that to me.
They could just ride on Pokemon next
I
year.
mean, they
and just-
could, but I'm gonna be mad.
obviously it's probably going to get revealed before March before April because they said it will. So
Mhm.
they people like sticking to that, saying like, oh, they said they will, so they will. They could just say, yeah, we changed our mind.
Exactly. There would be
We
nothing
changed our mind.
funnier. There'd be nothing funnier than a tweet that just said, "This is for Akawa. I lied," and then it just end tweet.
Delaying an announcement is psychotic to me though, because it's just like, why? I get the thing is, I get what people are saying, like, oh, so they can sell more Switch Ones. Switch One has already like that sale like process, we've been looking at the numbers. They keep going down and down. I feel like they're at the point where it's like you kind of got to reinvigorate something, and it just feels weird to like delay this announcement for a new system for so long.
They're going down, but they're not zero. They are still selling.
Yeah, but like
The-
I don't know.
yeah, but if they have like Pokemon Legends next year and they have a limited edition Switch next to it, they'll be fine. That will be the next gen
I don't
console
want
for
them
next
to be
year.
fine. I want them to bleed, Jack. I want to know if Nintendo can bleed.
No, the answer is no.
Oh, go on.
Oh, sorry. I was going to change the topic. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't know about May or June next year. I feel like at that
Mhm.
point, I don't know. You just push it to holiday, like September. I'm sticking with September in my mind. I think it comes out in September, but
Same
I
day as
do-
GTA 6.
June would be nice.
I do hope it is like late spring/summer because I think they like it kind of makes sense. Like we saw it with the first Switch. It's like you get the hardcores in a non like traditional release window of like early year, and then you break in, moms and grandmas who are like, oh, it'll be your Christmas present this year and buy it on Black Friday or whatever in
100%.
in the fall. I think that is genuinely the best strategy, but also like I mean yeah, I selfishly do not want it to only be in the holiday window because now we're going to be fighting with grandma in the Black Friday line at Target, and like I don't want to punch you, grandma, but I need the Switch too.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't even think about that. It's like if it's in the Black Friday window, it's like, oh, it's going to be a bitch to get one. They did say they're going to like really raise the production. They're going to have so much more Switch 2s than usual. I don't know, Nintendo. I don't trust what you say. I saw what happened with the Amiibo crisis in 2014. They did say a couple more interesting things. Nate was kind of talking about like backwards compatibility and the fact that because backwards compatibility is a thing, there would be some type of like increase to hardware. Now, of course, he said this is purely speculation, but I kind of want to get you guys' thoughts. Like, do you think like if you stick a Breath of the Wild or Super Mario Odyssey in the Switch 2, will there be some type of increase, or is it just going to be like the exact same?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, not like FPS boost for Xbox Series X or anything, but like if I'm putting it Breath of the Wild in my Switch 2, will the game look better, run better, any kind of increase on the hardware tech side, or is it just going to be like it was running on Switch 1?
I think there will be marginal increases. It's kind of like what we've seen with the PS5 Pro games where like even though they haven't been patched or like officially like approved by PlayStation or whatever, just the sole hardware bump should have it running at a better, more stable, maybe not graphics wise, but like at least a more stable FPS. I think that is like the easiest thing, or and shorter load times. I think shorter load times and a more stable FPS at the bare minimum. Like there's just no reason for Nintendo to limit the performance when we know this hardware is way more capable.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I feel like there's going to be at least some marginal increases, something that you can definitely measure. I think Digital Foundry is going to have their work cut out for them when that Switch 2 comes out, because there's like, okay, we're going to just spend like 2 weeks uploading videos of comparison shots of Switch 1 games, which is exciting. I love that type of stuff. And then I also just wanted to real talk. The Planet Robobot, that's exciting. I've heard a lot of good things about this game. I love Kirby, but this is one of the few I haven't played yet. This is definitely though a harbinger. Like, if you see a Kirby port, just assume like the console's at their last year, because Kirby's the harbinger of like the dead Nintendo consoles. Because one of the last 3DS games was a Epic Yarn port. One of the last Wii games was the 25th anniversary collection. So like anytime you see Kirby, it's like, oh, okay, the console's coming to an end. But yeah, that's exciting. I hope you guys check that out. It's a great game.
This is a fan favorite. Yeah, this is one that people really like Kirby fans really enjoy. So I do wonder if it's going to be like just an upscaled remaster, or whether it's going to be like a full redo. Like the
Mhm.
Kirby's Dream Land Deluxe was almost like a full remake of the game. I think it was a remake. You couldn't really tell side to
Yeah,
side, but
semi. Like I played through it. It's very much a like it's remastered, but they changed some things basically.
yeah. So I wonder if they're going to put that much effort into this, or whether they just put it out.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's just gonna basically be a simple remaster because this was a 3DS game, Bob. Since you were wondering, like you never heard of it, it's 2016 3DS game, one of the last Kirby games on that console. Everyone says it's pretty much one of the best Kirby games, and that's why I'm very interested to see it get ported, actually play it.
Yeah, I'm watching a trailer right now. This looks pretty sick, actually.
It's so sick. You literally
Kirby in a
like.
mech.
I saw the
Yeah.
dude. Don't look up the finale to that game because it is one of the coolest things ever, and it's like I need everyone to be unspoiled by it because I got spoiled and I'm sad. Anyways, but yeah, I'm excited for that. Moving into our next story, Hazelight, Water 64 has this. Billy Bill Kun. Hazelight Studios' next game, Split Fiction, is releasing March 6, 2025, with a reveal this month, likely at the Game Awards. First of all, shut up, Billy Kun. It's literally in a week.
Yeah, there was no reason for this.
Like you're gonna act like the coolest motherfuckers. Like we revealed it. It's like nobody likes you. But also,
If he'd said,
sorry, good.
I was gonna say, if he'd said it was there, that's one thing. But to give like the release date and everything, that seems overkill.
Exactly. But to talk about the game itself, I'm excited. It Takes Two
Oh,
is
yeah.
sick. A Way Out is sick. And you're gonna tell me it's like, yeah, their next game is coming out in a few months? Dude, I'm fucking hyped. I am so ready to see whatever this game is. Like, I'll be there for whatever Joseph Ferris does. And we're gonna get it in basically a week. I'm ready.
Yeah, I agree. I love Joseph Ferris's and Hazelight's games. It Takes Two was incredible. I've played it multiple times with multiple different friends. Like that buddy pass system was awesome for that. And Way Out's also very good. And I hope that even if do we think they continue that kind of like couch co-op or co-op
Oh yeah,
style
that's
game?
the thing they do.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
especially with the name Split Fiction. Like, come on.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, and like I do like that they're doing that because it's not really something anyone else is really doing right now. And they keep themselves, specialized and unique in that space. And I will say, I hate to say it, hate to inflate his ego. I am jealous that Bench gets to see like the world premiere or whatever, you know.
Oh yeah,
That'll
because
be
Joseph
cool.
Fair is gonna be on there that stage.
Oh yeah. Oh, he is, and it's always the most fun time of the Game Awards. Like, oh, Joseph
Fuck
Ferris
the
is on
Oscars.
stage. Yeah, it's great.
I also want to point out, It Takes Two sold 20 million copies. So
Good
like
game.
that, this is definitely going to be a big game for EA that they're going to want to push very heavily. I mean, the thing is, Bob, you said it, the Buddy Pass. I feel like developers underestimate how powerful that is because I wouldn't have picked up It Takes Two without the Buddy Pass because my friend is broke and he doesn't want to buy
Exactly.
games. So I'm just like, dude, no, like if I buy it, like we could just play it. He was like, oh, okay, let's do it. And
Yep.
easy. Like, why would you not? So yeah, Buddy
Yep.
Pass needs to be like, I want that to be standardized.
Standardized.
Standardized. Okay, God, it's like you would think English is my second language.
Wow.
Jack, what about you? You interested in this game?
I've never played a Hazelight game because I don't have any friends. So
Okay, well you didn't have to.
I always have the accessibility issue of they don't make the games for me, so I
Jack,
just
I'll
can't
play,
play them. You want to play It Takes Two?
Yeah, I love It Takes.
I'll play that. Okay.
I never beat it. That's the thing.
What?
I never. We got halfway through, and you know that thing, Bop. It's like differing schedules, so it's
For
like
sure.
we
Wait,
never
where
really
did you
stuck
end?
together.
Where did you end?
We were in a top-down section. And it was like a mage and a sword guy. It was like
Oh
a thing.
yeah. Damn. So you didn't even because like it does take it like an interesting turn.
I heard.
And it's like, oh, whoa, okay, yeah, you're pretty like I would say you're like not even halfway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're like kind of halfway ish. I forget exactly where that part is, but it's definitely like there's a lot that goes on in the late game where you're like,
Mhm.
whoa, okay, this is really cool. God, I loved it. Man, Jack, maybe I'm playing it with you because like that game is so good. I love playing that game.
Played through twice. I have it on Xbox and PlayStation just in case I ever found an excuse to play with anyone, and I just
Aw.
never did.
Jack, just ask, man. We're your homies.
I've always wanted to get a divorce from you, Wolf. This would be the perfect game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, also, can we just like remember that It Takes Two was in the best family game category, a game that's about divorce.
I'm telling you,
Like,
man, that category is a fucking travesty. That's the one thing I
God.
agree with you on, Bob. there's definitely some things about the Game Awards.
Like, and I've had this conversation with my friends where they're like, yeah, but it's still like a kid's game and stuff. I'm like, okay. And sorry, spoilers for It Takes Two, but like, it's not that big of a deal. There is a point where the kid cries because you tear apart a stuffed animal. Like, what? Like, how is that good for a kid?
Isn't it T-rated or am I wrong?
That's a good question. I don't actually know.
There's not a lot of
I
teen-rated
don't
games.
think so. Um,
It is rated teen. Yeah, it's a T-rated game.
Yeah.
Great game for
But-
families.
yeah, a game for families.
Moving into our next story, just some sales numbers and updates. We don't got to spend too long on these. Marvel Rivals reaches 439,000 concurrent players on Steam in the first 2 hours. Jesus Christ. That is a... Oh, that was Okami Games, by the way. Yeah, this game's pretty huge right now. I do wonder what the tail on it is. Bob, you wanted to roast this game.
No, I really don't. I just as someone who still plays Overwatch 2, unlike Fake Fan Wolf,
Dude, what? I played it for 4 years straight, Bob.
yeah,
Like,
so
like the
have I.
one game.
I've been there since the beginning too. You have
Yeah,
no
okay.
excuse.
This looks worse on you.
Listen, I have Stockholm syndrome. Sue me. But my thing with like I want the hero shooter genre to evolve. I don't think Overwatch needs to have this like you know dictatorship over supreme control over the genre. I just don't really. It just rubbed me the wrong way how Marvel Rivals is like treating the game as like they're kind of like trying to not pander but like appeal to lapsed Overwatch fans by pointing out 6v6, pointing out how many heroes are going to be at launch, and then even then like some of the inspirations for like character designs, like, oh, you have a guy that can dash and with dual pistols that like spin to reload, and you have a guy that can do that has an ultimate that's all auto lock on, and you have a girl who shoots a chemical kind of lock on beam out of her hand that does, and it's like, okay, I get that, video games copy off of each other all the time, and and not to say that you can't like be inspired by other games and implement them, but did you have to be that on the nose? Like, you have the Marvel IP. You're already going to like gain notoriety and gain like a fan base, and like you should let it speak for yourself rather than just being like, oh, you don't like Overwatch? Well, here's a game that'll remind you of Overwatch and remind you of the good times, and like it's like I know they're like, the more that has come out about this game, and like the more the developers talk and everything, they are trying to evolve the hero shooter genre, and like they're doing good things like the Halo style battle pass system, where you buy a battle pass, it does not expire. There is no expiration date. So you can take as long as you want to earn your rewards. That's awesome, and that needs to be more industry standard. And they're doing, not all of their characters are inspired by Overwatch, and not all of their abilities are inspired by Overwatch. So it's like that's where I just wrestle with, like, you didn't have to fly that close to the sun. You clearly have things here that are going to stand on its own, and yet you still kind of just like, so it's a personal beef, but clearly it's a success at launch. But I will be curious to see how they balance all of these characters, how they keep up with content, because people want to dog on Blizzard and Overwatch for all their either their patch notes or lack of updates or who gets what skin and whatever. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Let's see what the competition can do, because like I've always been in the camp that Overwatch 2, even recently, is still in a great state. Yeah, it doesn't have PvE. Yeah, 5v5 is different than 6v6. And they lost a significant amount of their player base, but like it's still a good game. And so I just want to see if like I hope Marvel Rivals can succeed. And if it does have like sticking power, maybe I'll check it out. But for now, I'm sticking with Overwatch.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to check it out tonight. I was trying to do it last night, but I ran out of time. But I'm very interested to see like how it compares to Overwatch. I'm into a lot of what I'm seeing about it. It just comes down to the fact that I don't give a fuck about Marvel anymore. So that's always been the sticking point for me. Bob, how many hours do you have on Overwatch?
Honestly, I don't know anymore because again, like, not to say that Overwatch and Blizzard are free of criticism, because they messed up, because I played on console and I played on PC on Overwatch 1, and so when Overwatch 2 transferred over, they just lost all my console data, which was where most of my hours were. And it only kept like my PC. Yeah, it only kept my PC stats. So I think I'm definitely over 1,000. I want to say I'm either at 1,500 to 2,000 range, but I just don't have an exact number anymore.
2,359.
Yeah.
Don't call me the fake Overwatch fan, buddy. I was there.
You just have more. You have more like when you play it for a long time, whereas I'm more of a slow. You're a sprint. I'm a marathon.
Every day for 4-5 years, Bob. All right. I was there.
But who's playing it now?
Oh my god.
We still haven't played together, by the way. We do need to squad up, because I think that'd be fun.
Is it crossplay?
Yeah, it's been crossplay.
Oh yeah. I remember we talked about it. I'm down to try it out with you. What rank were you?
On PC, so it's funny. When I play on PC, I literally still play with controller. I literally still play with controller on PC because and I play competitive, and they don't have aim assist on the PC competitive for controllers on PC, and I'm still like gold. So it's like, okay, I think that says a lot about being gold on a controller with no aim assist on PC. But on Xbox, I was master for a little bit, but I usually hover around diamond.
Shit on you. I was masters as well. I was a masters diamond range. I remember. Sorry, just real thing. I got masters that season where Mercy was broken. If you remember.
What?
Where she was able to double res and then
yeah, the moth meta,
yeah. Because I played Reinhardt, so I was just like literally doing nothing, and we won. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm a Masters player.
I think at Arissa's most broken state, that's when I hit Master, because she was always my main, and so I would
I remember
just run with her.
Yeah, we should have a podcast episode where we just talk about Overwatch. That would actually be fun.
That would be fun. We're a little retrospective.
Yeah, for sure. Moving into our other sales data, Dragon Quest III HD2D Remake has sold more than 2 million worldwide in shipments and digital downloads. I just want to shout this out real quick. Really awesome to see. And I'll tell you now, most of these are Japan. Like 1.5 million of these are probably Japan, because Dragon Quest is massive over there. If you remember, the sales data was like 800,000 units for the first day in Japan, which is like unreal. It may sound small compared to like a lot of the sales numbers we know now. But like in Japan alone, for 800,000, like that is a smaller market, and they still sold like 800K, like almost 1 million. So Dragon Quest III is absolutely huge over there. Really awesome to see. I'm curious to see what the next HD 2D remake is. We know it's Dragon Quest 1 and 2 is already announced, but I'm pulling for Chrono Trigger because I want to actually play through that game. It is like every time I don't know what it is. Every time I play the original Chrono Trigger, I've attempted that game like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, I can't get into this. And I know it's good. I just can't get into it. So I'm like, give me that HD 2D remake. That's the last shot. But yeah, shout out to Dragon Quest. Moving into our next thing, a quick one as well. From Software is working on multiple projects in diverse genre. Wario 64 has this, by the way. some directed by Miyazaki and others handled by other staff. Elden Ring 2 is not in development, but doesn't deny possibility of Elden Ring IP developing in some form in the future. So that last part is actually not surprising at all because they did buy the IP. Like they have full ownership of the IP from Bandai Namco. So of course they wanted to do something with Elden Ring in the future. But to outright say like we're not working on Elden Ring 2, this was one of those things where it was surprising to me in the moment. And then I thought about it. I think about From Software and their philosophies, and I'm like, I'm not actually that surprised because From Software is a company that likes doing new things. The only the only sequels they've done for the Souls games was Dark Souls, and that's because they had a 3-game deal with Bandai Namco. So that definitely felt like a situation where they did 3 games because they kind of had to. But I always saw them as a company that just likes to do new things. Now saying that it's very possible that whatever this next game isn't a sequel to Elden Ring or a new IP. Maybe it's something completely different, like a Sekiro 2 or I'm gonna say the words Bloodborne 2.
Nope.
Not definitely not. But I don't know. This is one of those situations where I'm kind of just like, hey, listen, whatever has the From Software name, I'm gonna be there for it day one. So like, cook, go ahead. I am curious to see when it gets revealed. That's actually something I wanted to bring about when we talk about Game Awards. But yeah, I'm excited for it. The Elden Ring 2 part is fascinating that they're just like, yeah, we're just not even working on it. There's nothing in like pre-production or anything. But I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this.
Jack, you got anything?
Damn.
Nope.
I always knew
Nope.
I was the only From Software fan in this.
No.
company.
I do. I was just gonna let Jack go first.
Oh, okay.
Nothing. It'll just
Yeah.
be Elden Ring 2.
Go
but
play
not
Demon
called Elden Ring
Souls,
2.
Jack. All right. I need my boy to play through a classic. Okay.
I'm busy.
With what?
Assassin's Creed 3 remastered.
You did. I want you to know there is nothing more disrespectful to me than saying you're not playing the FromSoft game because you're playing a Ubisoft game.
Oh, that's so funny.
Anyways, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, so to bring it back to the FromSoft, you're definitely right because I think wasn't Dark Souls 3 what 2016, 2017?
2016.
Yeah, like the gap between Dark Souls and Elden Ring, and I know they're not technically spin-offs of each other or like related, but like
Sekiro was in between.
Right, exactly. You had Sekiro in between, and then you also had Armored Core like in that same time frame, a little bit after Elden Ring. So yeah, it's clear that they don't just go straight one to the next. I don't know if they do a Sekiro sequel, but I think they could do something in a very similar vein.
Yeah, Sekiro sequel would be tough because that's owned by Activision.
Right.
That is
but-
crazy. A lot of their IPs are owned by other companies.
Yeah.
Because when they
And maybe
they
that's
were
why
not
they
really
want to
a thing.
do new IPs, right? So they can have more
Yeah.
ownership and really flesh those things out, especially right now when your sentiment around your studio is so high that people will buy anything that you put out.
100%.
But I think funny answer is they're not making Elden Ring 2 because they're just going to keep making Elden Ring DLC because it gets nominated for Game of the Year. So why have to make a full game when all you can do is DLC?
I mean, they already said they're not working on Elden Ring DLC, but I
love
that outcome.
That'd just be so funny. It's like, oh, okay, well, we're just not going to make another game ever again.
Moving into our next story, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has a new release date, and it's actually getting pushed forward. Yeah, wait, am I saying it right? It would
Yes.
be pushed forward. Okay, I don't know why my brain just short-circuited there. But yeah, it's gonna be arriving February 4th, 2025, a week before, and they're also apparently dropped a story trailer yesterday. And also in the video they stated. This was a very funny thing that I didn't notice until I was watching Defining Duke yesterday. They said in the video basically, oh, and we're gonna have a PS5 Pro version and a performance mode at launch, because we know that's important. And like Maddie and Cog, they were like, that seemed like a dig at Avowed. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, Bob. I am curious. I do think this game's going to be massive. You look at everyone talking about this thing, it seems to be like kind of one of the more hyped up releases of 2025. I haven't played the first game, so I don't have much opinion on it. But it seems like this is a very talented studio, and they've been working on this thing for a while. So I'm very curious to see what like comes of it. But yeah, that it does seem like it's going to be kind of not toe to toe, but like they're both fantasy RPG, Western RPGs coming out around the same month. It's like, I wonder if you're Obsidian, like, do we delay? Do we think about it? Do we just like kind of stay in our own lane? What's the play there?
Yeah, I think this is better news for Avowed because it does give more breathing room. And I just, again, backwards logic, it would have been really funny if the developers just tweeted out, "Hey, we know everyone's got like a really big backlog. We don't want you to get to that, so we're going to move this up so you play our game
They should
instead."
have said that.
That would have been a really funny little dig. But no, I think yeah, there's definitely overlap in this for sure. But I think KCD2 is more of a hardcore RPG than Obsidian, where Obsidian is obviously still very much an RPG, but it is it's a lot more narrative based with choices and decisions, and they're not going to go so far into your skills or your day to day, and like because Kingdom Come Deliverance is a very 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 hardcore like RPG, and like everything you do is is not a chore, but like some games like they'll gamify it, right? So it's like you don't have to go to sleep or you don't have to like manage like so many systems, whereas like this game is like, no, you are literally in that world. And I think that appeals to a slightly different audience, but still obviously a lot of overlap. And to your point, Wolf, I think I don't know when this was taken, but I did see a tweet about this where I think it has more concurrent players right now than Veilguard does, which is
Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising.
so interesting. I think it was at around 90,000 player count. So it's like those are great numbers for Kingdom Come Deliverance, for it being that old of a game. But so I think having that space will help Avowed. There's going to be crossover, but I don't think it's a full 1-to-1. And then as far as like performance mode and all that stuff, yeah, we haven't heard anything from Obsidian, an update on like 60 FPS or any of that. And if you remember, one of the major reasons I really started investing in my PC is because Avowed was going to be 30 on console. So I'm not at this point. It's like I have the means to play the game how I want to play it elsewhere. I'm going to do that. Like I invested in, a really long HDMI cable and set it up. And now I'm playing like Outlaws at a much better graphics and frame rate. And I'm going to do the same with Avowed. I'm going to do the same with Indie. So, if my Xbox Wrapped next year is like, oh, you played all your games on PC, you played nothing on Xbox, it's like you only got to blame yourself because you're not prioritizing what people want to play your game at.
I'm so sick of this 30 FPS thing. Like, why is it every game from Xbox is 30 FPS? Shouts to Indie. Indie has a 60 FPS mode. So God bless them for that. But it's just like I feel like it's been like more and more stories coming out about this game is at 30 FPS, and it's like I haven't had that, and I don't want to do this console war thing. I don't give a shit about that. But like PlayStation games, they come out and they have performance modes. Now, granted, some of those performance modes like Rebirth, God bless, but that's not even PlayStation. That's very much the third party joint.
And that's totally fair. I think PlayStation is better about prioritizing frame rate, where it seems like Xbox is prioritizing visuals. My only thing about 30, and I've been pretty consistent on this, is like if it's a stable 30, I would still prefer that over a significantly visually worse 60 or an unstable 60. And Rebirth is my example because it was a stable 30, it looked better, and the performance mode just reduced the quality so much, and it wasn't exactly the most stable 60. But going back to Xbox, I think the one thing that really hurts their messaging is a game like Starfield, where where Todd Howard talked about like, yeah, we targeted 30 for this reason and blah blah blah, so we could do more things. And then they came out with a 60 FPS update like 6 months later. And it's like, okay,
Dude, I hate when they do that shit.
right. And it's like, okay,
Just-
clearly you are full of crap, because if you really believed in it, you would not make this an option for a long time, or like your next DLC. Like, if you really believed in the 30 FPS mode, you would not make it such a accessible option that fast after launch. But you do, and I'm almost for sure certain that if Avowed doesn't launch with a 60 FPS mode, they will have one by the end of the year, probably even by like the fall, like within the first like 6 months, because it definitely sounds more like we can get it at 30, we can't get it at 60, we'll get it after launch. And it's not a big enough priority for Xbox to prioritize that. But again, at the same time, everything we've heard from the previews is that the game is pretty polished. It's not like this is coming in a bad state. It's just the fact of like they couldn't get 60 to work for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's a first-person game. You don't necessarily need all that frame rate.
Right.
Oh god, that is the craziest quote I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, that is genuinely that is a style of perspective where 60 FPS actually helps a lot. But okay, whatever. Anyways, Avowed, I'm excited. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I'm excited to see how it does. Avowed, honestly, every time I'm like, all the new stuff looks a lot better. I know I've been making fun of it a lot, but no, I'm actually genuinely more excited for it.
I'm curious how it sells, because the first one sold 8 million. I didn't realize that.
Oh, for
8 million.
KCD2?
It's had a
Yeah.
huge tail. It was not like
Oh, it
it
was
actually had
rough.
some controversy at launch, I think, if I remember correctly, but it has, to its credit, had a huge tail, and I think more and more people just discover it every, couple of months.
Yeah, because
it was
this
a
is,
recent story.
I think this is the next big Embracer game, so I'm curious what their expectations are of it. Obviously, that's probably nothing good, but yeah.
You're very right about the tail, by the way. Because this is a story from last month. Kingdom Come Deliverance sold another 2 million units since its sequel was announced, and its sequel was announced earlier this year.
Exactly. Like that's insane.
That is crazy. It's a long tail for a game like that.
Granted,
and it's always on sale for like $5.
I was gonna say it is always on sale for dirt cheap, but still, sales are sales.
For sure. Moving into reviews of the week, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is our big review roundup. It is sitting at an 86 on OpenCritic. A lot of 9s and 10s. Well, not a lot of 10s, but a decent amount. It got some 5 out of 5 from Eurogamer, 9 from IGN, GameSpot 9. People seem to be very, very into this game, and everything I'm seeing about this, I'm still like a little like, I don't know. But also, I hear more people talk about it. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm down to very much try this game. How are you guys feeling about this?
Yeah, I obviously have been looking forward to this one. I've been trying not to watch too many trailers or read too into it, so I really haven't seen any of the reviews. I listened to a little bit of Kind of Funnies, and I've heard Jeff Grubb talk about his experiences a little bit, which both ironically are on the lower side. But yeah, I'm personally still excited for it. I have it loaded up on my PC, so I'll be able to play it when it comes out next week, because I will not be paying for early access.
That's so stupid. I hate this early access shit.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't think there's usually Xbox is really good about having a upgrade path for Game Pass members, where like you would pay $30 or $40 and you would get like the deluxe edition because
Starfield had that.
Right, Starfield has it, Forza has it, Call of Duty even has it. But I don't think, to my knowledge, there was one for indie. Not that I think I'd get it. But I am surprised that they didn't have that option, because they could have made so much money with that. But regardless, I'm very much looking forward to it. I think, and it's interesting because I've never played an Uncharted game. I know, sorry, but I have played Lara Croft, like Tomb Raider games. So I've kind of put myself in those similar atmospheres. And I love the indie movies, so I'm very, very curious to see. I'm still excited for it. And the reviews, I was scared. I was scared like Xbox was going to miss again, and it sounds like they got a real winner here.
Because they got the codes like 4 days before. It's like, why? If the game's good, like, why did you wait so long for codes?
Yeah, and like a
Oh.
review embargo at like 7 Eastern, like 7 at night. Like what? Like what?
They do this so much where it's like an hour before the early access. It's like, why? Like, what are you scared of?
But
Don't you
again,
want
if you're
people to be hyped?
confident, like why not do it on like a Monday at 10 a.m. or at noon, like everyone else?
I don't know, man. It's
Very weird.
very weird. I did see it makes me interested because it very much seems to be a lot more like Dishonored than like Uncharted, which interesting. You know, I haven't really gone into Dishonored, but like I'm curious to see. Like, I'm kind of more excited because it's like that. Because like, if I want an Uncharted, I'll wait for the next Uncharted, basically, or
Right.
the next Tomb Raider, if any of those ever happen. God bless. But this is something completely different. And I think like, okay, like we have our Indiana Jones, like what you would think of an Indiana Jones game with Uncharted. Let's see what Indiana Jones can do like in his own thing. And I think that's a really cool idea. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out for sure. But end of year wrap up, man. Let me tell you, Bob, it's rough.
Oh, I know, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it in the what we've been playing, but yeah, I'm like, whoa, I don't know if I'm gonna get to everything that I wanted to.
Before we get into the topic, Jack, any interest in indie?
Yeah, I've actually got it pre-ordered because it's
Nice.
probably the last disc that Xbox will ever produce. So I had to buy it. There's nothing on the disc, but you know, had to try. So that's
Yeah,
probably
'cause
coming
I
next
doubt
week.
anybody's
I'll
getting
probably,
one.
yeah, I know, I'm sad. But yeah, I'm gonna play it next week probably. I'm looking forward to it.
That's awesome. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. But we don't need to hear about that now. Damn, that's not what I mean. I'm sorry. I'm trying to transition. I'm excited to hear your thoughts, but also I'm excited to hear our predictions for the Game Awards. Never let me transition things, by the way. That was horrible. Game Awards is next week, next Thursday, and we already talked about the awards and what we think is going to win all those categories and stuff, but who cares about that? All right, let's be real. It's all about the announcements, baby. And I'll tell you, nothing really has leaked outside of that Hazelight thing because Billy Kun is the coolest person in the world, apparently. So now we're at the point where things are pretty, like, we're in the quiet before the storm right now. So very much like predictions are all up, like everyone's getting ready to do this thing. And what's it called? Andy Robinson over at VGC was basically, he had a tweet earlier this morning. I don't know if you guys saw, but he's like, hearing about what's going to be at Game Awards, you guys, like, this is going to be very exciting. This is going to be a good Game Awards when it comes to announcements. And that gets me excited, I'll be honest. I'm very curious to see what he means by that. But I guess I'll ask you guys, like, what's like kind of the expectations of announcements? Are we going to get a lot of updates, new reveals? Like, what are you, the feeling going into it?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we get in this loop every year. And granted, Game Awards is usually more consistent than an opening night live.
God bless that.
Or like even I want to say like TGA usually has better stuff than Summer Games Fest. Like, am I wrong in that? Like, I want to say that.
Oh, dude, TGA has substantially better stuff than SGF.
Yeah,
SGF.
right. So I
Rough.
think I'm just now. I think I'm accidentally conditioning myself to like have no expectations for any Jeff show and forget that like no, Game Awards always brings a lot of good stuff. I think it's just more so it's still 4 hours and there's gonna be a lot of fluff in there that always like upsets me. But I should focus on. Yeah, I should focus on the good stuff. So, but I don't really have any expectations. I'm just kind of in the mood of like, okay, let's see what you got, Jeff.
I want to, Jack, what about you? What's kind of your like feeling going into this?
I'm relative. I don't know. I'm a bit like Bob. I'm just kind of ready to just see what he has to bring. I was kind of in the minority and really enjoying Summer Game Fest this year because of the lack of, or there was a lot less AAA stuff, so it was more interesting to me.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if this overcompensates for that.
See, that's the one that Fusion didn't like, so you know for a fact Fusion's a AAA baby. He doesn't care about indies. I always thought that.
It's true. It's true.
I real quick, Game Awards, they've been announcing like who's gonna be at the TGAs. There's probably gonna be a lot more going into the show itself. So far, they've announced Laura Bailey, Hideo Kojima, both not surprising. What's it called? Sam Lake, also a presenter. Snoop Dogg with a musical performance, which is like okay. I mean, I don't know, but Bob, when do you think was the last time Snoop Dogg actually performed anything music-wise? He's,
Well,
like,
I know he did the
retired.
Super Bowl a couple years ago. But like he's definitely one of those where it's like he doesn't have to do much. He'll just lip sync over like his 25-year-old music and people will still go crazy. And it's like, yeah, he doesn't have to
Okay.
do much.
Go crazy because that shit fire. Okay.
Oh no, I'm not saying that like that's a bad thing either. I just think like as far as like people who do musical performances like in a later stage of life, like he's one that could go for a long, long time compared to like I don't know, like Taylor Swift or something. Like granted she's not old, but like I couldn't imagine her doing
Is that
the
the only
Eras
other
tour.
musician you could think of?
No, I was just trying to think of like an older musician, where it's like,
Oh.
yeah, they're still like the Rolling Stones, for example.
Like
Sorry,
Dr.
Jack.
Dre.
No, I
Dr.
just
Dre stopped like 20 years ago.
well, yeah, also true, but like the Rolling Stones like still kind of tour, and I think the consensus on people who go is like, yeah, those guys are old, and I wasted my money. So, I don't think you're going to be wasting your money seeing Snoop Dogg perform still.
Apparently, he's still got albums coming out and shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize. I thought he like was kind of retired from music, but no, he's still going at it. I respect it.
Did you guys see him earlier this week going on about his Xbox year in review?
Yeah, dude, he's it's literally his top 3 are Madden, 24, 25, and college football.
Gamer.
And he has like 1,300 hours on Xbox this year, so he's a gamer-ass gamer.
Yeah, I think he had more
He
hours
should
on
be.
Xbox than I did.
Dude, I respect it, man. It is one of those things. I'll be honest. I thought he was already at the Game Awards one year, but it's like, oh yeah, I guess he hasn't actually been at Game Awards. That is weird. I feel like he would have been like one of the first. I also want to shout out. They just announced this. Aaron Rodgers is gonna be there as well.
No way. What the?
Wait, Aaron Paul. My bad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Completely different people.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought Aaron Rodgers, and I'm like, wait, no, Aaron Paul.
That's so funny. That is a good one though. Aaron Paul being there. That's interesting.
Does he? Oh, he did. There were episodes of Breaking Bad where he played what's it called?
Wasn't he playing Burnout?
He played like some weird Wii game ones. Oh no, he played Rage.
He was the main character in the hit video game adaptation Need for Speed the movie.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I understand why you thought Aaron Rodgers was like the most out of pick thing, Bob. I just realized he was the Jets player. I was like,
correct.
I know that name. Why did I say it? That would have been funny. But yeah, Aaron Paul. No, I mean that's cool. Anyways, enough celebrities. I mean, actually, do you guys have any predictions? Any other celebrities that would be there?
Aaron Rodgers.
What if we just accidentally leaked that?
That'd be insane. I think it would be real. I'm trying to think like who would be like a funny like oddball pick. God, I feel like Terry Crews. Let's just get Terry Crews.
Yeah, he hasn't been at a Game Awards. I know his son's a big gamer.
Or Dave Bautista. Those would be my 2 wishes.
Those are actually both really good answers. I don't know why. A sad part of me feels like this is the year The Rock comes up, and it's like, when he's at the lamest of his career. So that's something. Jack, any ideas?
I don't know celebrities well enough.
God, you and me both, man. I was just thinking like, oh, Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. Anyways, let's actually go over what we think is going to be announced, the actual video games of the video game awards show. I have all the publishers on a list here, and we're gonna go through them one by one, kind of like everything we kind of expect. Sony is our first one up here. Do you guys think we get anything from Sony? I mean, I look at this and I'm like, at most, I think you get a PC port. I don't think Wolverine's ready, and I don't think they have anything else that's worth ready to be shown, and they'd rather just do it at their own event.
Does
Is
Death Stranding
this-
count?
Yeah, that's semi counts. Death Stranding 2 is 100% going to be there.
Yeah, that's.
I
how
could see a date.
Oh yeah, yeah, because like it doesn't have a date yet, right?
So they've already said it's in the next fiscal year. So it's either spring, fall, or winter next year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's coming out. I don't think it's a holiday game. I think Ghost of Yota is in the summer, so it could just come out like next spring.
See, I kind of take that as like I do think it's a holiday game if we think Ghost is in the summer. I feel like it would be kind of like on the cusp of the holiday, so around September.
I'm just currently going through the phase of I don't think any game is a holiday game next year.
Yeah, that's true.
Fair.
I it is that thing though, Jack. It's like any holiday game right now, the games that are scheduled for that are not going to get their dates yet because you
No.
know a certain Grand Theft Auto is on the horizon, and it's like if you come out the
But
same
that's-
day as Grand Theft Auto, oof.
Yeah, but that's why I do kind of think it's possible it comes out, especially in the first half of next year.
For sure. Yeah, no, that's definitely very possible. I just think it's like one of those things where it's like I remember there being something Kojima said of like, oh, they're still working on like a substantial part of the game yet. Like the game was playable from start to finish, but I think he said like mocap or voice acting is still being done. I might be wrong. I'm trying to like remember the quote exactly.
For what it's worth, I think this will be a early fall, like a September, maybe even October release.
I think it's one of those things though. If it was on that release date, then it probably wouldn't. We wouldn't get the date here. So I think.
Yeah,
I don't know,
true.
honestly, I mean, like Jackie, I think it's a thing of like if we do get a date, it's probably gonna be in the first half. But if we don't, then kind of tells me it's second half.
Or they just tease us again and give us like a season with a day or with a year instead of just the year.
How many times has Death Stranding 2 been at the Game Awards? Is this its third showing?
No, it's like the second showing, I think.
For Death Stranding
last-
2, yeah, it hasn't appeared, but Death Stranding obviously has also been at the Game Awards.
OD was the Kojima game last year that they showed off. God damn, I forgot about that.
Oh wow,
Oh,
yeah.
Death Stranding was the year before that, but maybe I'm just
No.
making that up.
It was revealed at the Game Awards the year before that. I think you're right there. But what's it called? OD was last year. So this would be its second time if it
No,
right.
was it? No. It was last year because wasn't it like, oh yeah, Kojima's here to talk about Death Stranding, and then like the music job, I'm like, oh wait, what? He's out here for something else, and then they talked about OD.
Yeah, last year was OD. Death Stranding wasn't there at all.
But I thought that's why Kojima was originally there last year, was for Death Stranding.
No.
Okay, I mean I could be wrong.
No, I remember because like he talked about OD for 8 minutes and said nothing.
Yeah, because
Also
then we
true.
got to the Death Stranding trailer in spring, didn't we? We got a State of Play.
Yeah,
It was
the
just
state of
all
play
Death
was
Stranding.
Death Stranding. Yeah, man. I listen, man. I love Kojima to death, but I hate the marketing cycles for his games. He's so pretentious with that stuff. But I'm just like, dude, just give me the game, man. I love you, but come on. Moving into, but yeah, Sony, same Death Stranding 2. It seems like we're pretty on agreement that that's going to show up. What about Microsoft? Anything from like Xbox, that team, like obviously Microsoft, Bethesda, Activision. I could see something like the Doom, the Dark Ages, maybe get a release date. Avowed, same there. Like I would get updates. I don't think you're going to get a new game revealed here.
Yeah, Hellblade 2 will be once again be at the Game Awards.
Dude, remember when it was there? They did the musical performance and there was no date. It's like what? And then like a month later they had the date. It's like, why were you here?
Man, I tried to give that game such a benefit of the doubt.
That was so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Well, as far as like an actual answer, yeah, I think Avowed seems like the safest bet. I definitely don't think Fable.
no.
It's gotta, yeah. I think we're just gonna get another trailer on something already announced. So Avowed makes the most sense. I would love to see them zag and maybe we get Perfect Dark, or maybe we get
No. Perfect Dark is way too early.
But they already showed like that gameplay stuff last
I think
year.
that was well, this year they showed it.
Well, yeah, sorry, yeah.
I know, I get it. Time is a flat circle. The thing is, though, is that I feel like that was a trailer just to show it's still alive. But I feel like it's like they're not ready to like really market the hell out of it.
100%, but they weren't ready to fucking release Hellblade 2, and yet we still got so many trailers for it. So that's why it's like, hey, maybe that's just their marketing strategy.
They just release a bunch of trailers for games all at the same time. I get what you mean.
Yeah, I think I think if anything, it'll be Avowed.
What about you, Jack?
Remember last year when they had the trailer for Starfield congratulating all the other winners when Starfield got nominated for nothing?
Oh, that was brutal. It got nominated for RPG.
No, it got nominated for like one thing, I think.
Yeah, it was best RPG. It was so funny. Congrats to the winners.
I could see an Indiana Jones trailer just saying, "Oh, by the way, did you know it's out?"
Oh yeah,
I don't.
Yeah.
There was a debate. Would Harrison Ford come this year? The Game Awards?
No.
I don't know.
If anything, it would Troy Baker.
Yeah, that's true. Troy Baker. I heard he did a good job with the voice. I'm actually interested to hear that.
I could see them date the PS5 version, but I don't think they want to do that after how people reacted to it at Gamescom.
That'd be insane. Like a day after the game comes out, like for Xbox, they're like, "Don't worry, PlayStation players, you don't have to buy an Xbox. Just wait a couple months. Here's the real date." God, that is still the craziest thing that they literally said. Like it's coming to PS5 before like it even came out on Xbox.
Yeah. Couldn't even wish list it on PS5 or anything. They just said it.
It was so weird. I really hope Doom's there. I mean, I don't know what you guys think of like the possibility.
I think that's a possibility. Yeah, it would. I think Doom and Avowed are the most like surefire because we know those are next year, and I think even Avowed we've seen a lot of. We haven't seen that much of Doom, so
yeah, we only got the one trailer. So
it'd be good for another trailer.
I could see a trailer. I think if they were going to date it, they'd do it in the developer direct a few weeks later.
True.
Yeah, that's true. What about do you guys think Toys for Bob's game is ready yet? Or is that still just like waiting on it?
Yeah. I think we're ways out on that one.
Oh, I want to see it. I want to know if my boy Spyro's coming back. Moving into Nintendo. Wow, what a company. They don't do anything for Game Awards usually. Jack, go ahead.
So while you guys were talking about Marvel Rivals, I kind of just went ahead and started like coming up with my predictions, and I wrote Sony, Death Stranding 2, Microsoft, Indiana Jones. Do you want to know what I wrote for Nintendo? I wrote ha 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 ha. Oh, you're serious?
Yeah.
Listen, man. I mean, Mike from Giant Bomb, and he seems like, oh, maybe they do Metroid Prime 2, like the remaster. But also, they could just reveal that on Twitter. I don't think they really do stuff at the Game Awards anymore.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I've been listed Giant Bomb as well, like, shout out. And they've been, like, saying how, oh, Nintendo never does anything. But it's like, just, like, not last year, but the year before, they did Bayonetta Origins. They had, like, Bravely Default a couple of years before that. They always had the Smash reveal. So they do show up even now. Even if it is in smaller.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, even if it is in smaller showings, they do show up most Game Awards.
I think my thing is, though, is that, like, Game Awards, they very much were, like, they're adamantly... Reggie was the one that pushed hard for, like, getting big stuff at the Game Awards. And I don't think Doug Bowser cares as much about trying to, like, get something big at the Game Awards. I might be wrong. Maybe they do a Metroid Prime 2, like, one of their actual first-party games. But, like you said, Jack, those games... They're third-party, smaller titles like Bayonetta Cereza. That's a platinum game. The Bravely Default was Square. I feel like that was just a thing of like those companies. Like, hey, we want to show off the game somewhere because it's coming out soon. Can we do it at TGA's? And Nintendo was like, all right, cool. Moving into FromSoft. I added this because I just remembered. Do we see FromSoft's new game here?
I don't think so.
I think FromSoft has a strong relationship with Jeff Clearly because it's where they revealed Armored Core 6 at the Game Awards. They did the re-reveal of Elden Ring at SGF 2021. I remember that one. But yeah, I think it's one of those things where I don't know if it's ready yet. I feel like we're still like half a year off on that one. What about Square Enix? Anything from big boys over at Square? I have nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're
going
gonna be there, but I don't know what it would be.
It's very Stay Alive 2.
Yeah.
I know Final Fantasy 16 took forever to come to PC, but I could see Rebirth's PC port being announced here.
Oh yeah, wasn't remakes?
Yeah, 7 remake was at Game Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Not a bad one.
Yeah, they do. They did the Rebirth trailer last year, so it's clear they value the Game Awards at the very least.
Yeah, wasn't that the musical performance last year?
Oh
Yeah, it was one of the musical performances.
They did Loveless or Loveless.
I remember that. I was like, man, you chose that song?
Like, it was so good though. And then it cuts to the trailer. Oh man.
Yeah.
What a good soundtrack Rebirth has.
Yeah, what a great game, right? You love that game, right?
I listen, I know we like the dog on bench for his Rebirth takes, but like I think going to see that concert, the orchestral score live, like it did like reinvigorate my love of that game.
I do still like want to play that game. It's just I was like, I'm gonna play it in December. It's like, no, I'm not.
No, you're not. But
metaphor.
I still will go on record, Wolf, and say that I don't think it's a Wolf-ass game, but I feel like if you can get far enough into it and have it get its hooks into you, I think you would appreciate it.
No, 100%. I think my thing with Rebirth is like, I love Remake. I think Rebirth, I just played it at a wrong time where I just wasn't in the mood for what it was doing. I think the thing is, what drove me crazy was when I was moving those Mako things, whatever they were, when you were Cloud and Sephiroth, and they didn't talk. They didn't say anything. And it's like, why am I doing this?
And and the funniest part is like that kind of like gameplay element like never happens again.
It's psychotic. I was genuinely like, is my game bugged? Like, what is happening?
Right.
Anyway, tangent is a tangent, but yeah, dude, Square is weird, man. I'm just like, I guess all I could think of is Final Fantasy, because like Dragon Quest, I don't think 1 and 2 remake would show up here. That'd be like a Nintendo Direct thing. So then it's like, okay, what else do you have, Square? And not a lot. And
but that's also exciting, right? Because it's like maybe they do show up here with something new.
I agree. Moving into Capcom. This is kind of a slam dunk. I think Monster Hunter Wilds is 100% going to get a trailer here, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying this as the Monster Hunter Wilds fan who's like really excited for the game. I'm so sick of seeing Monster Hunter Wilds trailers.
You and me both, man.
I was going to say, I'm kind of starting to hit that point too, Jack, because I love the, what was the Rise? Like, I didn't play World, but I really liked Rise. That was like my first foray. So I am excited for Wilds, but yeah, I'm just kind of like, let's just get the game out already. I'd rather just play it.
Yeah. It just seems... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing.
It just seems like Monster Hunter Wilds is one of those games where you see it once and it's like, yeah, okay, like that's what I needed. It looks good, but like we've been seeing it everywhere, and it's we had a second preview event in Japan recently. I didn't even watch that because I'm like, dude, I know what the game is. Like, what more do you need?
Right.
Anything else from Capcom? You guys think Resident Evil 9 maybe?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't really have a good pulse on Capcom, so yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, they're in a weird middle spot
finally.
right now.
Ooh, wait, I got one. The sequel to the very successful Kunitsugami. There we go.
Kunitsu Boppi, you mean?
Exactly.
Did you ever beat that game?
I did not, but I did really enjoy my time with that game. Like it was never I stopped because I was bored or lost interest. I think other things just like I got caught up with.
Fair enough. Moving into EA, real quick on Capcom, I just want to point out it is weird that I feel like I don't know anything about what Capcom's doing, but I just feel like they're in a transitionary period right now where a lot of their big stuff that they announced already is starting to come out, and now they're like in the next phase of like what's going to get announced next. And I'm very curious to see what those games would be. But moving into EA, we already know Hazelight's going to be here. Duh. Like that's just like the most obvious thing. Anything else you guys imagine should be shown off by EA? I feel like EA is just a weird company to predict for. I feel like.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have a trailer from College Football 25 that's like, why did you not nominate us for Sports Game of the Year? You guys are all stupid, and your international voters aren't objective because this is like one of the best-selling sports games and like one of the best, definitely one of the best rated sports games of all time, or not all time, of this year. So yeah, I think they should come out with a trailer just like dunking on everybody. It's like, yeah, you messed up.
I wonder if you're still upset about that, but
No, I kind of moved on. I don't really think about it anymore.
Fair enough. Jack, any thoughts on EA?
I'd love for them to show that Star Wars Tactics games they've been working on.
Yeah, what was
think they
the
will.
deal with that? Have they said anything about it?
Not in a while. In fact, I don't think they've said anything since they announced it.
Yeah, EA, I just feel like I never know what they're working on. It's that weird.
No, because I feel like wasn't it? No, that was the year before with like Wild Hearts and Immortals of Avium. Like I think they do have like interesting projects every once in a while, and it feels like we're due for one of those.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about EA Originals, the whole program. Like, I think Hazelight's new game will be part of it, but after Tales of Kenzera, Immortals of Avium, and that, I don't think they're overly confident in it anymore.
Yeah, because they always kind of like stated that program as like, yeah, it's not going to make us the most money, but like we want to try to get like bigger, like we want to try to foster stuff like the Joseph Ferrises of the world, like get them bigger and make a game that sells 20 million, like It Takes Two. Like that was such a big success that I feel like you said, Jack, even though those games were like really like didn't do the best, I think it's still worth it on EA to be like, okay, we could still work with it. But also, I mean, that was a different leadership back then when they first started EA Original, so who knows? Real quick, I'm just gonna point out some games. Just tell me if any of these from EA, because I realized they actually have a decent amount announced. Skate.
What would it be there? That'd be a cool one.
Just say yes or no.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna go with yes.
I can see it. Yeah, it was at SGF. Jedi Survivor sequel, no, too early. Iron Man game?
No.
Mass
Thought
Effect?
about that, but I don't think so.
Mass Effect? No.
no, definitely not.
That's gonna get canceled. Battlefield? Honestly, Battlefield I actually could see.
That feels like more of a summer one.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think SGF.
Black Panther?
No.
And then they have one more untitled Marvel game, which, I mean, we don't even know what it is, so obviously no. Man,
I'm going to say yes.
They have so much Marvel shit. Like, what? And immediately after, they were like, we want to move away from licensed games. It's like, well, you still got like 5 coming out, so. Moving into our next guys. Take-Two. Take-Two has a lot. Borderlands 4, Civ 7, GTA 6, obviously. Listen, GTA 6, that's not going to be there. Rockstar does their own thing.
They've already confirmed Mafia is going to be there.
Oh, have they? When did they do that?
Oh, that's right.
When they announced Mafia, they said they will be showing like story details or more, maybe it was just more details, but
yeah, more details at TGA.
I don't know if they confirmed it was at Game Awards, but they said in December or something like that. So it was just like, okay, it's going to be Game Awards. And then that's awesome. Randy Pitchford just like tweeted, I think it was yesterday, that he's finished another Borderlands 4 trailer or something like that. So,
man, that still perplexes me. He's still at that company. Like, it's just like they never got rid of him. But yeah, no, Borderlands 4 are 100% going to be there. Anything else? I mean, Civ, that's a possibility. I could see a trailer just before that. Take-Two is going to have a big year in 2025. Like, I mean, have you guys seen like their release lineup? It's looking kind of insane. And also Judas, which I think soft confirmed for 2025 as well.
I don't think it was. Like, every time they've said what year it's coming out, they've like had all the list of their games, and then Judas has never had a date.
Yeah, that's fair. I do.
There is oh, go on.
I think it's still going to be 2025 somehow, some way, but like, yeah, I do agree. I don't know. I feel like it's just like a weird thing where I always feel like I see interviews. It's like coming out for 2025, and then the fiscal report comes out. It's like, no, it's not. It's like, okay, well, you guys got to decide.
There is also No Rest for the Wicked, which they are still involved in the publishing
yeah.
on
Oh,
over the
yeah.
private division. Because that came out in early access this year, didn't it? And I haven't really
Yeah.
heard anything since then.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you need an update on that one?
Yeah, because you were really into it, right, Bob?
Yeah. But I haven't really seen much of it since. So it'd be a good time for an update on that.
Quick one here. CD Project. I'd say no, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Bandai Namco. Actually, so do they have anything like major announced? I don't know if you guys know anything.
That's a
They
blind spot
have
for me.
Little Nightmares 3 coming next year, which is the one that I'm personally interested in.
Oh yeah, that's the one that Supermassive's on, right?
Yeah. They've been working on Ace Combat, is it 8 for a while now? They could show it here. I'm not expecting it, but it is a possibility. Like maybe
Yeah,
a wild card.
I could definitely see like an Ace Combat 8 like reveal at this location because it's like, what else could they really reveal? Like Bandai Namco have a decent amount of games coming out. Oh, also, Jack, 1000% the Tekken character, the last Tekken character of the season pass is going to be here.
I originally wrote Tekken DLC actually.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I mean like they already stated that like it's not going to be at the World Cup, so it's like, okay, well, where else are you going to reveal it? But yeah, that's Bandai Namco. Epic Games, aka Fortnite. I mean, I assume we're gonna get a Fortnite trailer, right? Just like a season thing.
Finally, Fortnite at the Game Awards.
Yeah, we're gonna get like more justification that they hate Rocket League players, and we'll add more to the dying Rocket Racing that no one plays.
Man, that was a brutal moment for you last year.
So annoying.
I remember when Dark was like arguing with you about it and shit. It's like, damn, you guys got to save this for the podcast. Hello. Ubisoft already in the news. I mean, anything else that we see, like a Shadows trailer or anything else from them?
I mean, they need a Shadows trailer.
They had the really good Outlaws trailer at the SGF, I think.
True.
Yeah.
And then they had a Shadows trailer at the Xbox show, so I could see another one. Just
a quick like update.
Yeah,
for sure. Sega Atlas. Anything from Sega Atlas? I mean, I don't really. I mean, Persona 6. Anything there?
Yeah.
It feels.
I could see that Pirate Yakuza get another trailer for that.
Dude, I keep forgetting that got announced.
That's one of those. It's just another reminder that I need to keep playing the Yakuza games because if I stop, then they keep making more.
You keep saying keep playing the Yakuza games. You're one game deep.
I'm 1.5 games deep. Thank you very much.
Oh, you got to Kiwami?
I did get to Kiwami.
Well, clearly it's half game deep because you're not as into it.
Correct.
There is a last Game Awards was when they had the montage of all the IPs that they're bringing back in some weird way.
Yeah, dude, I want to know what that Crazy Taxi game is. I mean, I don't think it's ready yet, but oh, dude. Also, Shinobi.
Yeah.
That Shinobi.
Yeah,
game
they
sick.
could show something from that. My actual prediction is Aniplex just announced that they're making a sequel to that Demon Slayer game, not the party one, the fighting game. So, and Sega published it in the West, so I could totally just see Sega saying, by the way, it's coming West. So that would be the most boring but most realistic Sega prediction.
You gotta. That's the thing. You gotta, when you're predicting for these things, you gotta predict the boring but like safe stuff, because it's like, yeah, I mean, we're gonna see some boring stuff here for sure. My boys, Konami. I mean, listen, I know Konami and Jeff have a tough relationship, but like, is that relationship still rough, or can I get Metal Gear Solid 3? Can I get a release date, baby? Please tell me I get a release date, Bob.
Has Metal Gear Solid not shown up at Jeff stuff? I thought it has.
No, because remember, like 10 years ago.
I know the beef. I just I couldn't remember if any of that stuff has shown up or not.
Here's the thing, Bob. Konami has not appeared at a Jeff show in years. Also, Konami has not had anything worth showing up at a Jeff show in
Which
years.
is also true. Yeah, I think unless they got a new Plinko game coming out, I'm gonna say no.
I don't want
Especially, actually, no, I take that back. Especially because Hideo Kojima is gonna be there. Yeah, no shot.
You can't have them in the same room.
No, literally, like I think Jeff cares that much about it.
Kojima would genuinely like look at Jeff like, I can't believe you've done this. I don't know. I mean, I feel like at this point the relationship is like, well, not like. I don't think it's a situation where it's like we can't.
Oh,
be
you just don't care anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
what about
how
you, Joe?
this year we had the Visions of Mana show up in the developer direct as like a random third-party game in it. I could totally see Metal Gear Solid be that one for next year.
Hey, guess what? That's my new favorite developer direct of all time. Oh man, can I just tell you guys how excited I am for that game? I don't know if I showed it. I don't know if I've shown that off.
No, in the same way that like I'm very passionate for College Football 25, I'm sensing a very similar like, nah, it's kind of just whatever, it's not a big deal to you.
Yeah, I could care less.
Yeah.
I'm just happy for Metal Gear to be back. I really hope it's like early next year because I just want to play that fucking game already. I would literally like not like anything else next to it. It's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm just gonna go for Metal Gear. John Silksong. What do you guys think? Is now the time?
I'd like to bring back my answer for the Nintendo question.
I mean, okay, this is getting fucking ridiculous, man. All of 2024, not even an update, not even the like, hey guys, we're still hard at work. Like, no, they just sat there.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very similar to Nintendo. It's just like, this is just comedy at this point. Like, how have we not gotten anything on this?
What is happening with that game? Like, I don't get it. I'll be pleasantly surprised if it shows up, though.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine, like, Bench, like, live messaging us? Like, he's gonna lose his shit.
Dude, is he gonna... I just realized, bro's gonna be there live and he's still gonna message us. Is
100%. You think he's gonna talk to his dad about it? No.
It's just on his phone, then. It's like, why are you here?
It'll probably be, like, after the trailer or something before the next one.
Fair enough. What about Valve? Any thoughts on Valve showing up in any way, shape, or form? Unlikely, I'd say. They have shown up at Jeff shows before.
I could see something hardware related. Like, I think it might still be too early for like a Steam Deck 2 announcement, but like, I could definitely see like some sort of Steam Deck announcement happening there.
Fair enough.
They finally acknowledged Deadlocked.
They said that it is a game that exists, but they haven't had like an official trailer. So yeah, I could see like a open beta announcement type deal.
Yeah, that's actually a good call.
God damn, freaking Jack better than both of us, Bob. What are we doing?
I played that game too, and I forgot about it.
I heard it was really good too.
It is good.
And then finally on this list, Marvel 1943, the Amy Hennig game. I hope, but I don't really think it's here. I think that's like early 2025 we see it again.
I don't even remember what this is, so I'm going to say no.
The Captain America Black Panther game.
Oh, yeah. No.
Well, damn. Okay. I know what your excitement is now for it.
No, I mean, it's not that I'm not excited. I just think it's, like you said, it's too early.
Fair enough.
You missed the most important publisher on this list, and that is Focus, with the hit game John Carpenter's Toxic Commando.
Dude,
will that show up?
I forgot about that. I can't wait for that game.
Also, maybe Roadcraft. Maybe they'll show Roadcraft again just for Bob.
Oh, yeah. Stick that into my veins.
Oh, you know, one game I did forget, Clair Obscure Expedition 33. That's such a terrible name.
Oh.
You guys see that?
That would be, I would pop for that.
What about you, Jack? Do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, it's possible. But that again could be another one that's just saved for a Microsoft thing.
What about that? Oh god, the Yellow Brick Road devs.
Oh, the one that was at the Xbox thing.
Was that no? That was the Claire Obscura was at the.
No. The recent Xbox thing, the third party one.
Oh, were they there too? Oh yeah, I guess you're
so.
right. Yeah,
I think
I'd love to see more of that game too. I think that would show well at the Game Awards.
there's also Earthblade from the Celeste devs. You guys think that's a possibility? That was at the Game Awards. It is funny. I'm looking at the 2025 in video games, like the unannounced, unscheduled releases, and it's like, holy shit, there are so many fucking games that I just forgot about, like that Earthblade.
Yeah, because Earthblade was planned for this year, so that could
Yeah.
show.
That was like revealed at
Like an
2022.
update trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Real quick,
There's a
Ghost of
few other
Yojin.
ones, like I could see like a Fatal Fury trailer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That new Dark
DLC.
Pictures game that they showed off. They could show that again.
Oh yeah, what was that Dark Pictures game? The Dark Pictures. I forgot the name.
Directive 8020, the new one.
Yeah, I remember why I forgot the name now.
I'm gonna mention this just because I know it's been on Dark's mind. Does Wonder Woman show?
Oh, dude, I actually very much think it could be here because that was last shown in 2021. So I think about it as like, it's like 3 years since then.
Gal Gadot comes out and announces the trailer. That'd be fun.
I hope that game is good because people love that studio.
Yeah,
Me included.
There should be something good. Anything else you guys think of? I could see a Power World trailer. I just thought about that real quick.
Hell yeah.
Just a random Power World trailer.
Our world loves the Jeff shows. I mean, we're definitely gonna get like a Genshin or Zenless Zone Zero.
A lot of DLCs.
Doke V.
All three.
DLCs. Crimson Dawn? Or no, not Crimson Dawn. Crimson Desert?
Oh!
I just thought of that when you mentioned Doke V. I do wonder.
Yeah.
Wait. What is the Crimson Desert? Wasn't there one that a spin-off, a single player one where the horse
Crimson
drifted? Oh, it's just called Crimson Desert? Oh,
Yeah.
Black Desert is the MMO. Crimson Desert is the single player game.
Yeah. I think actually I meant Black Desert too, which is the funniest part about all of that.
Oh, that game looks awesome. I'm actually really excited.
Yeah, I could see those. Arc Raiders, I know, has been at Jeff's show in the past.
Slay the Spire 2 for me.
Sure. Why not? Let's throw it on there.
I'd rather you say you don't care. You hope it doesn't show up. Jeez.
I mean, I still need it now that I'm like, we'll talk about it probably in a little bit, but like Balatro, like I need to go play Slay the Spire because I need to play more of those card roguelikes.
Slay the Spire is unironically probably the best roguelike of all time.
Yeah.
So
even after Balatro, you'd still like, without a doubt, Slay the Spire.
You know what's weird? I don't know if I count Balatro as that much of a roguelike.
Okay.
I know I know it is a roguelike, but like it's one of those things where it's like I don't know. I don't think it just doesn't seem like a roguelike to me.
Yeah, fair.
Anything else? But are we good? Are we done?
We're good.
I'm excited. I'm always excited. It's one of those things. I got some friends coming over. Gonna order some wings.
Wait. Sorry, one more. Movie. Come on, we need at least one movie.
Yeah. I mean,
trailer.
I don't think Fallout Season 2 is ready. They're still filming. Any other video game movies?
Sonic 3.
Sonic 3 will get a trailer. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Dude, they could get Keanu Reeves as a presenter, please.
What are you gonna say, Jack?
I said Craven the Hunter.
No, let's not do this. I don't want to think about that. Is there any other video game like announcement, like a TV or movie coming out soon?
I mean, Secret Level, but that'd already be out.
Oh yeah, you guys excited for that? I saw the reviews.
No, not really. After those reviews,
no. Gene Park seemed into some of it. It was really that.
I do want to watch the Outer Worlds one though.
My thing is like people were like citing the IGN review. It's like, guys, the IGN gave everything a fucking 5 this year from the movie and TV side. Like I don't know what their deal is.
I don't. Yeah, that's
the best.
Fair.
But there were some other reviews that I'm like, okay, fair enough. There's definitely some episodes I'm like very much prioritizing. I was gonna prioritize the PlayStation All Stars episode. Turns out that's the worst one. So God bless.
Just like the TGAs, it's just an advertisement.
Oh my God! Hey, we needed one from Bob this year.
Got it in.
Hey, listen, man, Bob, you gonna hang out with friends and watch video games for 3 hours, or just sit there and play Balatro instead?
I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna be playing Bellotro because that's actually what I did. No, Bellotro wasn't out last year. What was I playing last year during the Game Awards? I'm usually playing something to that ilk during
I
the
mean,
Game
yeah,
Awards,
I
but
don't
I
know.
will be hanging out with friends and watching it.
Yeah, it's a vibe. Jack, what about you? Anything you're gonna play? Oh wait, it's like 3 a.m. for you.
Yeah, I'll be in the Discord hanging out, but
Oh,
I won't be doing much other.
man, that's wild, man. I would. That's one of those things where it's like if a 3 a.m. show that ends at 6 a.m. for me, it's like I don't know if I'd watch the Game Awards at that point. That'd probably be the thing that stops me.
It usually starts at midnight and ends around 3 or 4 a.m.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Thankfully.
Yeah, really. But yeah, I think Game Awards. I'm gonna see it next Thursday. Very excited. Let's talk about what we've been playing. I don't want to talk too much because we're closing in on 3 hours actually. God, you guys are yappers.
Wait, 3?
I think so, unless I'm miscounting. Yeah,
No,
we started at
we started. No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
only 2. It's only 2.
only 2. Okay, imagine though.
Yeah, I was like 3. We have not been like I cannot be on here for 3 hours. I'm still technically at work.
Oh, well, okay. Well, let's get through these quickly then. I'll start. I finished Unicorn Overlord. Great game. Way too fucking long. It is the platinum. Granted, I platinumed it, so maybe that's added to it. But still, like it was a 68-hour game. You could have shaved off like 20 hours of that game. It was way too long. But overall, really enjoyed it. It's most likely going to be in my top 10 by the end of the year. Bland story. Just as bland characters, but the gameplay is some of the best strategy gameplay you can find. So if you're into that genre, I highly recommend it. And also the art is like unreal. Vanillaware just at their peak. I also started 9 Souls earlier this week. Fusion was really into this game, and so far I've been really enjoying it. It's one of those things where I'll be honest, skipping all the cutscenes because here's the thing. Okay, I want to be honest with you guys. I like story in video games, but there's a certain like type of game where their story is just walls and walls of dialogue and exposition talking about fucking nothing. And that's what 9 Souls is, where I'm like, listen, guys, there's something cool here. You have a cool world, I bet. I do not give a shit about what anyone is saying. So I've just been skipping it. And the gameplay is fucking awesome. It is very much 2D Sekiro style parry combat. I don't think it feels nearly as tight. It's actually in a lot of ways a lot harder than Sekiro, at least to me. But also I'm a lot worse at 2D games. But yeah, overall, like I'm actually having a ton of fun with just like parry mechanics, kind of getting through the Metroidvania aspects. The other thing though is that this game is so fucking easy to get lost in. It is the most confusing Metroidvania I've played in a while, where I genuinely just have no idea where I'm going half the time. And I feel like Metroidvanias are usually way better at like guide posting when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, overall, I'm enjoying it. Should hopefully beat it by the weekend. I'm around 11 hours in, and I think it's like a 21-hour game. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I should be able to finish that up. Enjoying that one a lot. And then also, Bob, Balacho. Let me tell you, Bob. It was that funny thing where I posted my score and you were like, you beat my high score. What the fuck?
Yep.
I don't know how I did that. But listen, I'm almost 30 hours in, and yeah, Balatro is fucking incredible. That is a genuine Game of the Year contender this year. This is probably gonna be in my top 5. It's just it to me it's just like the perfect gameplay loop where you always feel like you're progressing, you always feel like you're getting more and more understanding of like the type of runs you should be going for. It's a lot of RNG, it's a lot of like hopefully the cards are playing in your favor. But it's also just a lot of like thinking about certain strategies. It's like, okay, do I want to skip blinds this run? Like, do I want to like try to go for like negative jokers? And like, do I want to go for flushes, pairs? And I feel like every type of run definitely works. I've seen high card runs that go like into the millions, and it's like, damn, that's interesting. I think this is one of those games that, yeah, it looks silly on the outside. It's like, what? How is this game a Game of the Year contender? But I really implore people to check it out because it is genuinely one of the best games of this year. And I am already better at Bop than it. So
That is true. I have yet to beat that score since you got me playing it again.
You play on higher stakes too, though, so I can't.
Really no, but that's the thing. Like I immediately was like, screw this. I'm going all white stakes. Like I'm just going down to the base level and I'm just gonna chase it. And I think I got pretty close. with
I
one
did.
of
I got
them.
insane luck, so I don't.
Yeah, you did get a legendary Joker, but yeah, and it's been fun going through and like playing it again because yeah, it is just like God, there are just some satisfying moments in that game, and that's why the whole conversation around the Game Awards has been so funny because the people who have not played this game outed themselves almost immediately when they're like, "Why is this game nominated? Like it's just a poker, whatever." And it's like, no, you guys don't get it. You legitimately don't get it, and it doesn't take that long to get it. And I think for most people who have actually tried it, they're like, "Yeah, this is awesome." So
There was that viral tweet that was like, it's like, wow, a card game and DLC got nominated for Game of the Year. This is bullshit. And then they quote tweeted 5 hours in Balatro is that scene from Spider-Man where it's just like, I made a mistake.
yeah, right.
Like the moment you play it, it's like, wait, hang on, this is actually fire. Jack, what have you been playing?
Assassin's Creed and nothing else.
My man. Demon Soul sitting right there for you. And this
I'm
is what you
supposed to
play?
be playing Beyond Good and Evil, but I keep getting distracted.
Fair enough. I would say, Jack, I can't roast you because I this year especially with a lot of how it's going on, I've been replaying a lot of classics, so I don't blame you at all. Like I can't roast you. The moment Sly 2 and 3 come out, I'm doing another playthrough, baby. I'm dropping everything for those.
Yeah, I kind of love that my Xbox Year in Review, my top 3 games were all Assassin's Creed games I've played like tens of times.
I mean, they got that 60 FPS boost on Series X, so there you go.
Yeah, it's not very good for Assassin's Creed 3. For some reason, it completely butchers the quality of the visuals, which is insane for a 360 game.
Yeah, for sure. Bop, you have been playing a lot. Real quick, Bop. You've been playing Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I just got to shout out your GG app review. The first line goes so hard. A great
thank you.
simulator becomes a great game. Bro,
Thank you.
legit fire. That is
Thank you.
fire.
I don't write many reviews on there. I just use it to like keep track of stuff and score it. But it was like getting review bombed on pretty much everything for like the server issues, and I was like, you know what? Like I gotta combat this. Like this is ridiculous. But yeah, no, I think Flight Simulator has been fun. The career mode's been great. The bugs have started to show or like rear its ugly head for me. I've been able to avoid most of them, but the new one that's really bugging me, no pun intended, although that's making me laugh now that I said it. The one that's been bothering me is there's like 40-mile-per-hour turbulence like on every flight, so I'm just like struggling to keep the plane like stable and like going the right way, and I'm like, okay, this sucks. But that's been a lot of fun. The career mode has been as advertised. I got a new flight stick because I'm just like been getting so into it, and it's been awesome. Love that. But it's not, like they gamify it as much as I wanted to, but it's still very much a flight sim game. Like these flights sometimes take 45 minutes to an hour. So if you don't want to be in the air for that long, and you don't, it's still not a game for everyone, but it is a lot of fun. Yeah, so Flight Sim, I started, I talked about this earlier, Helldivers 2, bought it on sale. I got in with some friends, and I'm not going to lie, that is like, I talk about Balatro, and that I kind of had that moment with Helldivers where I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. It's a PvE shooter. You have like fun with friends, and you do all these things, but like, I don't think I really didn't get it until my friends got me to play a couple of games, and like we started with the bugs, and those are fun, and it's just fun, like the friendly fire and just like all the like ridiculousness that can happen in like a game. And then you have like the D-pad, calling everything in. You can fuck that up if you're like under duress, and it's like, oh my god, I'm trying to call it in. But then what really like sold me was we did a suicide mission on a mech planet, and like Dude, that was the most insane 30 minutes of my life. And it was funny too, because like we were all like role playing a little bit. So like we all had code names. So like I was going by Claymore.
That's so good.
And so like we're just calling each other by our code names or whatever. And like we're pinned down. We got like gunships and tanks and hulks like coming at us. And I just like jokingly, I'm like, I got it, Claymore Jr. I love you. I'm sorry, I'm not coming home to see you, little buddy. And I'm just like making like a monologue, and then a sandstorm comes, and we're able to get out of there and like fight our way out. And then like we're getting on the ship, and my buddy just goes, "Claymore Jr.'s gonna see his papa." And I'm like, "You're damn right." And so like just like buying into like how ridiculous that game is makes it so much fun. So
it's a pure like fantasy game. Like it is a fantasy game in the sense that just like you and your friends buying into this whole super earth comedy of it,
yeah.
and acting like you're really fighting for that war. Like that story, it reminds me of like when me and my friends were like really hardcore into it earlier this year, and like there was one time like a nuke came down, or like one of us like it was like, oh, arm the nuke, and then we were just all sitting, and someone was like, the person who armed it, their mic was not working. And then it finally started working. It's like, guys, the nuke is armed. Run. And we were like, wait, the nuke is armed? And then just my sentence got cut off and just a giant explosion.
Right.
And it's like, it's moments like that where it's like, I really feel like I'm in a goddamn war.
Right. Well, and like I had a moment where my buddy, I call him back in to like respawn, and he accidentally like kills me by respawning in, and I'm like, "What the fuck, dude?" And then the funniest moment was in that mech planet mission. I had just unlocked the landmines, the ones that like spin out into a radius. I thought it would be like I thought it'd be like something different. Or like a power up or something like I could pick up and like place anywhere. I didn't realize wherever I place it is where it sticks, right? So it immediately kills one of my friends, and he's like, yeah, those like that's not how that works." And I'm like, "Oh, my bad." So he dies. Literally, we are running out of to the extraction point, and we make a full circle on the map. We don't realize it. That same guy is in the front, and he dies to landmines. And immediately, I'm like right behind him, like, "Oh my god, this is the same exact fucking spot from earlier where you died, and the mines are still there." So good. So it's just like moment to moment gameplay in that game is so good, and I definitely did not give that game enough credit, and I am really glad I'm playing it. So that's definitely one of and that's going to be a theme for some of these other ones. Late Soggy's Steam on Helldivers for sure. Because that is something I wish I would have played earlier. Real quick, Brothership, still playing that. Kind of losing steam on it. I'm starting to now understand like why it got the scores it does, because like again,
hours, right?
Yeah, I'm like at 15 hours, and like for Super Mario RPG, like I was done with the game by that point, and even like Paper Mario, you're making pretty good progress, but I'm just still like, I can see the map and I'm like, God, there's still so much to do, and like it is fun, but it's like the story is just not like something worth sinking another 20 hours into. So I'm still making my way through, but it's definitely at a lot slower pace.
Is Bench still playing it?
I think so. Jat's still playing it too, I think.
Okay.
So it's getting representation, but it definitely, I wish it was way more concise. So yeah, I've been playing that. Also shout out Slackers Carts of Glory. This is a very random.
God bless you, Bob.
This is, yeah, I know. There's always a wild card. This is the wild card for this one. It's a game where you are. I actually don't know if it's implied you're like not homeless, but like unemployed, and you're in a shopping cart, and you need to go down to the liquor store and buy more beer. And so each level is like a downhill racer, where you're in a shopping cart and you speed boost by drinking more beer, and then you have to, it's like a speed run kind of thing, where you have to get to the bottom as fast. But what's interesting is it's a very good physics game with the steering. Like, it just has a very unique steering system, so it's actually very, very hard. And there's multiplayer and stuff, but it's not gonna like make the sagas or anything. But I just want to shout it out. But
It's always a card game,
huh?
It's always a card game, huh?
Yeah, well, it's a cart. It's a shopping cart, but yeah, it's definitely
Close
a vehicle game.
enough.
Yeah, no, I know. I have a type.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, the last thing on here, and definitely something that's really been fun is Star Wars Outlaws. I held off. I was very big proponent of it, and obviously the reviews and the early reception kind of scared me off, and I was like, okay, I'll wait. I finally went back in after the big update in November, and I think even if that update didn't happen, I regret not playing it at launch, because I literally get caught and I'm like, no, I want to stealth it. So I restart it anyway. Like, I'm doing the thing that people hated about it, and like, oh, it's so strict with its stealth. And I'm like, yeah, but I kind of like that. It's like, it's got good gameplay. It's a really interesting story. And I just love, like, I personally do not care as much for the Jedi games. Like, I don't always want a lightsaber. I don't always want to be like the star of some galactic story. Like, I just want to be a dude, like hanging around and kind of making my way through the galaxy. And Kay is very much that kind of person. And like, I have a screenshot, which also screenshot game of the year contender without a doubt. Beautiful game. There's a screenshot of me like sneaking around this giant empire like space station, where there's like hangars of TIE fighters and you got stormtroopers patrolling the area, and you're just sneaking around. I'm like, this perfectly summarizes why I love this game so much, because it's like, you're not special. You're not like, you don't have any powers. You're not going to be able to bum rush your way through this. Like, you really have to like sneak around and be a scoundrel and work your way through. And I am eating it up. And I'm really, really enjoying it so far. And it feels good to like, I haven't really played like a true AAA game in a while. And this is definitely scratching that like Hollywood bombastic AAA game.
Hey, that's awesome. I mean, like, that's a game that I feel like had a lot of like mixed opinions. I know Jack really enjoyed it. He talked about it on the podcast, but like, Jeff Grubb also really enjoyed it. And I feel like this is definitely going to be one of those games that like has a longer tail. People are going to be a lot more positive on it as the years come. But it was just like kind of came at a rough time for like Ubisoft, and it was in a pretty bad place, like technically and all that. So I'm definitely interested to see the tail on that game.
Yeah, and I don't know. It definitely, like, I know Jeff talked about this a little bit, and I kind of agree. It does kind of feel like this game got a weirdly bad rap just because it's Ubisoft, and it's like, I don't know. I don't understand some of the, like, I will say the pacing so far, because I'm still pretty early, is very slow, but I'm still having a lot of fun with it. And like, I understand where some of these gripes came from, but I genuinely think people just want to dogpile on a Ubisoft game sometimes, and a Star Wars game nonetheless.
I'm people.
Haters.
I'm playing. I was hoping it was gonna be good. And I mean, hey, if you say it's good, look, I trust your opinion on games.
I definitely think this is worth, like, if it's $30 and you need a scratch an itch, like, I do think this game is very, very good.
Oh, it's not like, I mean, no, that's not happening.
Yeah,
for me.
fair.
Definitely for other people. I see what you mean. And then is that it for you, Bob?
That is it. I did want to mention, just briefly, talking about like not wanting to get to everything. There was a part of me that wanted to secretly play Metaphor, because I just feel like no one would have expected that. And I do want to play it, and I am hearing good things. But there's just not enough time. And I think between Star Wars and Indy, like, those are going to be my final games of the year for the Sagas. So it's a bummer, because I really, really want to be able to get the Metaphor, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I would have been curious to see what you thought of it. Jack, you didn't talk about it on the podcast. What was your final like takeaway from Metaphor? Actually, I didn't know.
I kind of talked about it with Bench last week or the other week when we were bitching about the nominees, but I really did like Metaphor. I didn't love its story, which unfortunately is probably the biggest thing in the game, but I would argue that the characters make up for it. I loved every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The gameplay enhancements over Persona is pretty cool. Like I found grinding actually really therapeutic in that game, kind of like what you were mentioning in Persona 3 Reload, where you can just sort of put a podcast on and just grind away. The only thing that was an issue was like MP's so hard to come by in the game, so you can grind for a little bit, but you have to really be keeping an eye on everything. Other than that, though, like I did really enjoy it, and it's it's going to be on my top 10, but that's not really saying too much because I haven't played that many. But it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. No, I foolishly told myself I was either going to play Metaphor or Rebirth this year. Guys, it's December 6th. Nope. It's not happening. But listen, I keep flip-flopping between those two games of like what I actually do want to play when it like comes to the new year and stuff. It's not happening, man. I am interested very much. Like I love Persona and everything I've seen of Metaphor looks awesome. It's just that difficult thing. Jack, is it true there's a 2-hour long cutscene?
I
Or like
remember
a
2 hour long
dialogue
cutscene.
spot? Like just a lot of dialogue for like an hour long or something?
There is a lot of dialogue, but I don't remember like 2 hours uninterrupted talking.
Okay. So that podcaster was a liar. All right.
Anyway, don't play either of them and play Zelda.
Hey, I'm going to play Zelda in this month. Okay, it's one of the games.
No, you're not.
No,
You're just gonna play Balatro.
No, I am okay. It's 9 Souls. It's Stellar Blade. It's Indie. It's Zelda. Those are
You
my
ain't
last
playing
ones.
all 4 of them.
I will. I promise you. If I don't play all 4 of those games all the way through by the end of this month, okay, well, maybe not Indie. I don't know if I'm actually going to play that. Okay, if I don't beat 9 Souls, Stellar Blade, and Zelda by the end of this month, you can do something to me. No, I mean,
what that means.
I don't know, like a negative thing. I don't know. You could force me to do something. Nope, that still sounds wrong. What? Okay. Like I'm trying to do a bet. I don't know how to say that. You can decide something for me. No, that still sounds sexual. I don't know. You can roast me. I don't know, Jack. Something.
The thing is, I'll say something and you won't do it.
No. Okay.
I'm still waiting for you to get the plat on Final Fantasy 16.
I don't know what I said. I don't know why I said that.
That's crazy. That's a crazy bet to make.
Yeah. Okay.
You insisted.
Okay, Jack. I will play something on the level of me playing Balan Wonderworld. How about that? Like something on that scale of like the amount of time, because you know how long 16 is. That was impossible. I don't know why.
Does it have to be a bad game? Can it be a good game?
It can be a good game. I'll do anything.
I will think on this.
If I don't beat those games by the end of this month, which I will. I'm making that bet.
Yeah, but Jack, you gotta be careful with a good game, because if he doesn't like the good game, then you're just gonna be mad again.
Okay, but like,
yeah, that's true.
Here's the thing, though. I'm not gonna be like Bench, where every time the game gets brought up, I have to talk about I don't like that game. Like,
I know. I'm just saying, like, for Jack's satisfaction, like
that's fair.
That is a double-edged sword, because like if you make him play Outlaws and he doesn't like it, it's like, well.
I keep fearing the day you guys play Metal Gear Solid. I'll say that. So that's fair.
It's coming. Next year, it's coming.
It better. And you better be nice.
I will.
I'll just play Survive and then skip the rest.
Real quick. Yeah, really. If you do that, I don't think I could talk to you anymore, I swear. Before we head out, Jack posted this. I was actually interested. This seems cool. For PlayStation's 30th anniversary, Famitsu did a poll for the 30 games across all PlayStation systems. I'm not going to read it all out. Bob, what do you think number 1 is?
Well, like fans' most favorite, like
4,000 people for Famitsu.
I'll say this: it's not all first party.
Yeah.
Jeez, I want to say like Crash Bandicoot, but I don't know.
No. Crash Bandicoot is number 27.
Really? That's actually pretty low.
Well, no, because
it
it's
is-
Japan. You got to remember.
Okay. Cloud?
Cloud?
As
What?
in,
Because you said third party, so I was like, I don't know.
What do you mean Cloud? You mean Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah.
Why'd you say Cloud?
Wait, is it
video
games or
games?
characters?
Video games.
Oh. Okay. Sorry.
God bless you, Bob.
either
Okay.
way, you're
I
correct.
missed that.
Final Fantasy
Okay.
VII is number 1.
Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Look
I
at
want
that.
to point some funny things. Only 2 PS4 games in this top 30,
That's
Hell
funny.
yeah.
and it's Ghost of Tsushima at 30, Monster Hunter World at 12.
That's really funny. That's a really. I got to see this list now. That's hilarious.
And only 1 PS3 game. I want to see if you can guess what the PS3 game is.
It's definitely not Last of Us.
It is Last of Us.
Oh, it is. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's the part that surprised me because I'm like, I didn't know Last of Us was a thing in Japan. That's cool.
Okay.
And I'll quickly go over the top 10. Dragon Quest 7, Ridge Racer, the first one, Ark the
yeah.
Lad 2,
What?
Metal Gear Solid,
Okay.
Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, Resident Evil 1,
Okay.
Final Fantasy 10, Xenogears, Monster Hunter Portable 2nd G,
Hell yeah.
and Final Fantasy 7.
PSP game. Hell yeah.
Second best game ever.
This is honestly really fascinating to look at. I'm just like, Japan really loves the PS1 and the PSP and the PS2.
I'm shocked how high Xenogears is. I didn't realize
Yeah,
it was
same.
that popular.
Dude, Okay, I'm finally looking at this list. Final Fantasy 11 at 17.
11 is huge. Like people
That's
love 11.
insane.
Wait, are
That's
you
cool.
looking at 11? Wait, where's? Oh, at 17.
Number 17.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's 11.
Hey, shout out to Metal Gear Solid 3 at 18 though.
Yeah.
Only 2 Metal Gear games. That's a little disrespectful, but hey.
If they did this exact same thing in 10 years' time, do you think a PS5 game would make the list?
No, Astrobot. I think would.
I don't even
Astrobot's
think
actually a
Astro would.
thing in Japan.
Yeah, I don't know what would make those lists from a PS5 game.
I mean, Stellar Blade maybe. Like Japan was.
I mean,
actually-
Elden Ring, I guess, if we're doing
Yeah,
third
but that-
party.
Yeah, but that's like PS4.
Yeah.
I mean, Ghost of Yote, if it's better than
Yeah.
Tsushima, but even then, I think
Sure.
Tsushima was more impressive because it came out of nowhere.
I would say-
Maybe Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, that's a fair one,
Yeah.
actually.
You know what's
Uh,
weird looking at this list? Only one Persona game and it's base Persona 4. It's not even golden.
Yeah.
That is
I wonder
really
if they
funny.
just said Persona 4 and like bundled all
Yeah.
the versions together.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I guess it's also funny that the first Yakuza, like the OG Yakuza, is on here as
Yeah.
well.
That is weird.
It's very
You think
weird.
I bet a lot of these people they submitted a franchise name. That's why like a Crash Bandicoot is at 27. something
Yeah,
like
true.
that.
Yeah, because like I mean, I don't know. Like I think like Gran Turismo, like the original on PS1, like that is not the best Gran Turismo game.
Also, I say that, and there's 3 different Monster Hunter games. So maybe
I
not.
just love how the second most beloved game is Monster Hunter Portable 2nd G.
Yeah, that's insane. That is genuinely insane.
I love that. I love how 2 Monster Hunter games are in the top 6.
So
Anyways.
cool.
We've been talking for a while. Ton of fun. A lot of good talking. Bob, thank you so much for coming by. Same with you, Jack. You guys were awesome as per usual.
Of course, thanks for
Thanks
having
for
me.
having us.
Well, I think it's about time we head out. If you want to find us, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, favorite podcast platform, we're going to be on there. Like the podcast, any type of support helps, and like us on, follow us on Twitter. And that's all. Say good night, everybody.
Get ready for the soggies, baby.
1 month.